And they may not realize that it's happening to them, so um,
There we go.
click
Now I'm
everybody
recording.
out, but
Get me set up for co-host yet?
I can't do that.
Oh, is it Trey?
Trace probably got to do that because I can't do that for you right now.
Oh, okay. Hey,
I
Trey,
couldn't
can
put
you set
David
me
on.
up? This is Dane.
We got Bruce in from South Ridge, South
Hello.
Ridge, Massachusetts. Hey, Bruce. Good evening. Hello to all from Mad Joe in New Mexico. If he goes by the name Bad Joe, he could be one of Dane's friends, you know.
We just saw someone come in from Quebec, Eddie.
Quebec. All right, nice. Some
That's
guy
me, I'm
like
here.
some guy really liked our gallery, and he sent me a message, all in Spanish with all little emojis and all over it. So I sent it to my daughter, who's bilingual. She answered me, spam. I think it was just a way to say, Dad, I can't read that. Their grandmother is Cuban. Used to be a kick when I take it to the grocery store and somebody in front of us be speaking Spanish, going back and forth, and I'd say, "What are they talking about?" She said, "You really don't want to know." And this one, she's only about 10 or 12 years old. Maybe you don't. Sometimes the truth hurts. Clubs. I wish I could. I can't access it on this list. I believe we had 31 different clubs check in last week. 31 clubs from around the world.
Wow.
And I'm going to put that list in the next month's newsletter. I'd like you to see it. I mean, we had a lot of folks say there's no clubs near me. If that's true, why don't you let us know? Because maybe you just don't know where to find that club. And some clubs do not affiliate with the AAW. And folks say, well, I checked the roster of all the clubs. That's not all the clubs. It's like saying you checked all of our members. You asked everybody in the world. So if you got something you're looking for a club in Victoria, BC, where Harvey Brooks is at, hi Harvey, then just say, hey, I'm looking for a club, and we might be able to find you one because our members are all over the place. Tonight we have Doug Miller doing a demonstration for us. Dean set him up a while back. I'm interested to see. I'll let Doug introduce it, but it looks like an interesting deal. Remember, if you can hold it, you can turn it. This is one of those ones where if you can hold it, you can really turn it. So we're going to get that from Doug Miller a little bit later on. And we're still recruiting demonstrators. Dane Chandler handles that for us. He's one of the volunteers, just like you, that handle things for the club, just like you can. So if you have something you'd like to be part of right here, just ask us. Here's the deal. There's no gang, no clique, no organization, no bunch of buddies trying to make a buck off this thing. There's no bucks. It's a bunch of people, and I said people because I know Susan there tonight, and maybe Brenda, but just a bunch of folks that want to get together and talk about wood turning and share some ideas and some secrets and stuff. And that includes you. And we picked up some really good, I want to say staff, but they're not staff. They don't get paid. They don't get any t-shirts or benefits or anything. Although we need to get some cozy coolers from Budweiser and send them on to them. But these folks all help us put this thing together. And some weeks we need a little more help than others. So if you're interested, boom, get into it. David says he's got more than 40 clubs listed on the website, retrieving names from last week's chat. 40, David? Did you say 40?
Absolutely. I think it was something like 42.
I'm behind times. Wow. We.
Yeah, it's more than a peck.
Absolutely. So if anybody else didn't mention theirs, put it up there. I'll put it on the website too.
There it is.
They're chiming in already, Doug.
Bob Mansfield says you missed wood turners of North Texas. So guess what, Bob? We got you.
Gotcha now.
Yeah. And there's no competition or anything. We just like to know who else can join us on a tailgate to talk and share things and get ideas. And I start out with how you can help us. We developed a new segment to the meeting called Tips and Tricks. Now, when you used to go sit in a meeting hall for your Wood Turners Club meeting once a month, occasionally they'd pull something forward and say, look, I got this tip or this trick, and you can do this and this and this. Do you remember that? If you ever experienced it? Yes. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to say, you know, I know about something that you can do to when you find centers, when you drill something, when you want to adjust your tailstock and headstock line up and or check them or whatever. Those are tips and tricks, and we want to get them from you, our members. And it's no hype, no BS, nothing else. It's just if you want to do one, all you have to do, and it's very elaborate, very. You have one of these? Yeah, it's called a cell phone. You can videotape it with your cell phone. Well, not videotape. You can record it on the cell phone. And then you can play it back for us. And we would have it, and everybody else would see it. Now, if you're not into doing that, and you just have a tip or a trick, send it to us. Write it out, type it out, put it in a message or an email or whatever, and send it on. I enjoy them. I go through, it shows me that we started out tonight, I was talking with Donald about the mandrel for holding a 3/16 pen. And that's one of those things, if I'd thrown it out a couple of weeks ago, I would have tapped into Donald's brain to see where I could go for this, because it came up with a whole new concept. Don't adapt the old rod, dump it and put in a new rod. And I think I can do it stuff I get at the hardware store. If not, I can turn the plastic. Wish I had a, hey, you know, Billy's got a 3D. Well, let him work this time. Look, there's Billy.
Hi, Billy.
Hi.
You getting
Billy.
volunteer for something I hear?
I don't know how many Billies we got. Billy Burt, Billy Dillard, Billy Bob.
You know what we're talking about.
Hey everyone, hope all is well.
Hey, good evening.
Hi, Kate. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. Got coffee, got a tailgate, comfy tailgate, even a cushion under it.
That's good. That's good. We just ordered dinner, so I'm just getting my my Thai food ready.
I think.
Hi. Ooh.
Yeah, some green curry Thai, shrimp and rice.
That'll keep you warm on them cold nights.
Oh, it's gonna be delicious. It's been a long time overdue. Cash is just going down for a nap, so but if you make me a co-host, I can watch the door and help you let people in.
Okay, I thought he was going to share his meal.
If I
I'm
eat
not
that
gonna
Thai
have
food,
none
I'll
of
be
that. I
sweating.
know that.
I'll be sweating the next week if I eat that Thai food. Goodness gracious.
And sweat
Hey,
all the
Me
way.
and hot stuff don't get along.
Good for you. Peppers are good for you.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
They're high in vitamin C.
That's
And
good.
a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
I know that, but my belly don't like that hot stuff.
Oh, they don't have to be
Ain't
hot
worth the
peppers.
pain.
They can just be peppers. You know.
I
Just
get the
even
hot,
green pepper kills me.
Oh wow.
I got
Like
the
eat 'em
hot,
raw,
but
you
it's
cook 'em,
never
they kill
hot
me.
enough.
I love peppers, but I have to eat them 4 or 5 times after they go down the first time.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Not so
That's
pleasant
great.
the 3rd or 4th time.
I just can't do
Bell
it.
peppers and onions. Oh my goodness.
It's like a fine wine after it's already been chewed.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be starving if I ever went down to Louisiana.
Well, this morning I cooked a big pot of rice. My wife doesn't. She does it on the stove and it's a clump. But I used the Instapot and did a big pot of rice. And then I set up and did some red beans. And I'm using the Instapot recipe for red beans. I can't have pickle meat or sausage or any other really flavorful meats. If it walks on more than 2 legs, I can't have it. But I've been chopping up chicken, putting it in there with, like Billy said, that the bell peppers of different colors with different flavors, and a little bit of onion in it. And I tell you what, I don't know how I missed this in the past, but this is some killer stuff. And it,
Vidalia
my wife and I-
onions. That's the ones you want. Vidalias.
oh yeah.
Well, I can
Yeah.
say I'm glad this
Oh,
is
good
a
stuff.
Zoom meeting because you just said you're a cannibal. Things on 2 legs, right?
You ever
So
cook
we're gonna
a
lose our
cheesecake in that Instant Pot, Eddie?
Pardon?
You ever cook a cheesecake in that Instant Pot?
No, I had not thought about it.
Oh, that's the best
Oh.
cheesecake cooker ever.
Oh, that's good. And
Oh,
donuts too. You can make really good donuts in there.
I'm sure. Yeah, but cheesecake is just so smooth and puddingy like. It is just, that's it. It's the best.
I see all these recipes from Six Sisters and things like that, and I run through them, but the boss wants to see what's in there because they have to be what we call legal because of my kidneys. And she'll go through, okay, you can't have that, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have this, you can't have that. I mean, that's just some seasonings I can't have anymore.
That's great.
Anybody want to see my new baby?
New baby.
Oh,
he's
cute.
Oh wait, I
yeah.
gotta move this. My wife can't see it. Man, she sees that.
Cute. Oh, you need another one, Eddie.
Is that a black lab? Oh,
It's
man.
a black lab golden retriever cross.
Oh,
my.
that's gonna be a nice
Oh,
dog.
nice.
Whatever you-
16 weeks old.
That's a good mix.
He's gonna be a
One
good
smash
friend.
puppy. He's been
What'd you
keeping
name
me
him, Doug?
busy for the past 2 weeks since he's been with us. Huh? Name is Levi.
Just about the age when they get excited.
Oh, he's wound up more than you can imagine.
Yeah, they are.
How's he like bath? How's he like it when it's bath time?
He loves it. Pure lab. He loves water. He came off a farm, so he's a little stinky.
Well,
So we
yeah.
gave him a bath second day he was here, and he loved
No, I
every
mean, when
second
it's-
of it.
When it's
My
when it's
lab
the
hated to
two-legged
take a bath.
person's turn for the bath.
He's
My
actually
lab
pure
hated
black
bath.
lab when it comes to water.
Wants to jump in with you.
That's what I'm getting at. Come splishing and splashing right through the curtain.
I had a weird one. Mine hated getting wet.
I had a pug that was like that. Every time my daughter would take a bath, man, that pug would jump in the tub and be in there with her.
That's funny. My Bengal cat does that. They like water just like dogs. So
Yeah.
he'll jump right in the shower with me, and he's walking in amongst my legs, getting
That's
soaked.
funny.
And we got a Maine Coon cat that likes to get up into the sink and get underneath the water faucet.
Yeah, our cats will do that, but yeah, not jumping in not literally getting in, digging at the water though.
But you know, Doug, as much as your dog loves water,
Yeah.
we have probably our 7th or 8th lab in the family with us now. Over the years, so we don't have them all at one time. And Lucy is 10 years old. If it drizzles outside, she's done with outside. If you sprinkle water on it, she's done with you. One clap of thunder,
My
she's
lab is.
under your feet.
We had one golden that accidentally fell in our brook down back, and he became water phobic, and you couldn't get him near the brook to save his soul. And the dog just before him, he'd dive in no matter what temperature was. It's 33 degrees. He'd be jumping in and swimming all over the place.
Yeah, my golden lived to be 19 years old, and I couldn't keep her out of the water.
Wow, 19. That's quite an old age, Paula.
It is. I was really.
Wow.
She was my baby.
For a lab,
Yeah, we
that's
just-
pretty elderly.
Yeah, we just lost our oldest one we've ever had at 13 plus back in December, and it took some wind out of our sails. We lost two in space of about 2 months.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, I
I
lost
agree
my
with
two
that.
dogs within a year of them a few years ago.
Okay,
They were-
Sue, I saw, I gotta do this because it's.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Sue, I saw some pens you turned. You sent one in tonight for the gallery. We'll see it next week. That's some beautiful piece of work.
Yeah, they both went in the mail today to Doug.
To Doug.
Doug
All
Rowe,
right.
he wants purple pens.
I know he was. And it's a beautiful pen. Andy sent some in for the gallery. It's going to be in tonight's gallery. Andy turned a
Thank you.
handful of pens also.
Yeah, one purple one.
Hey, Cap Maddie, can you get back
Sir.
to me with the message I sent you?
Yes, sir. I'm ready when you are. Is
I
he
know,
with
he
us?
Yeah, Martin's with us.
All right. I'm looking at the name and I didn't get the right name.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. My head didn't go there. But if we
Martin,
can get,
Martin, do you want to make the announcement now, or you want to wait for a few more participants?
No, I'll tell you about it if Eddie doesn't mind me telling you about it. It's just something that I wanted to mention. I've decided. Some of you guys will know me anyway, and I don't do remote demonstrations, and I don't do teaching and demonstrations of that effect really. I have jumped online and I've done the mouse demo, and I'll do another demo at the end of the month with the group. But it's not something that I enjoy doing, and it's very nerve-wracking for me. I don't like demonstrating. Quite deep to my heart is this situation in Ukraine at the moment. And I did a little bit of a fundraiser, and I raised a few £100 for the Ukrainian refugees. But I've decided that I need to try, or feel like I want to try and do something else for them. So I've decided that I would do a sponsored Turn for Ukraine. In Ukraine, it's taken on average 17 hours for somebody to get from where they live to safety. So I decided that I could turn for 17 hours. So my intention is to open my workshop for 17 hours, and I will work on my lathe. I'm not geared up with lots of cameras, so it won't be a remote demo. It'll be done through Zoom, and it will also be live on my website, so that if at any time you want to join us and just come along, you can either chat to other people that are there and talk about wood turning, or you can just watch what I'm doing. But all the items that I turn in that 17 hours, along with the donations that I receive while I'm turning, will all get sold and handed over to the Ukraine refugees. So I just wanted to mention it. You will be able to find information on Wood Turning Zoom's website. And if you've got any questions, I'm obviously at these meetings each Wednesday, but it's scheduled, I've scheduled it for the end of this month. It fits in obviously with both time zones. I will start it on Sunday the 24th, and I will start at UK time Sunday the 24th at 9 o'clock, and then I will finish, I think I've got me down at 4 a.m. on Monday the 25th. So it's around about, 4 a.m. we normally finish our meetings at 3 UK time, so it should at any point in time mean that you can just drop in for 10 minutes, you can stay for half an hour, and if anybody wants to join me for the 17 hours, I'll be happy. So Eddie, if you've got 17 hours spare, come and say hello and watch what I'm doing.
you know what? That's an
That'd be cool.
interesting invitation. I
It's,
can spare 17 hours.
it's a totally, it's free to join, it's free to come. what I've done is the website. It will go live on the website, so you won't even have to come into Zoom if you don't want to. You can see what I'm doing. There'll be a link on there that will bring you into Zoom if you want to chat to other people. So it's literally it's almost like a sit on the tailgate kind of day. Come along, chat amongst yourselves, watch what I'm turning. I just thought it was something different.
Good. Well, this is a great program. I think we're going to get behind you here, Martin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
can you put the
Yeah.
information in chat?
Yeah.
Can you put the link and information all in chat so we'll have it?
Yeah, thank you.
And then that way also, David, would you be able to put that on the website as well?
That's cool.
Please.
Isn't it?
Absolutely, it'll get on the website.
Right on. Maybe make a special little banner for it, highlight it, top of the page.
That's cool.
Guys, I wasn't expecting all that. I just wanted to let you all know so that if anybody wants to come and have a coffee or chat, you
Come
can.
drink some beer and chat with you, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it'll also give you the opportunity to see what I'm doing. And like I say, I'm not going to do anything different to what I normally do. All of my items that I normally turn, I'll be turning through that 17 hours. And then because I sell through the various outlets, the items that I make will get sold through them various outlets. And the money raised from the items will go to the fund.
Right on.
With your
ring
site,
holders.
you can make a
Nice.
donation today.
I'll put a link into the chat. I'll put the website link in.
Thank
The
you.
page, the actual Turn for Ukraine page is still under progress, and I know our webmaster from this group will understand how difficult it is trying to link the two together. But we're going to get the live feed up onto the website so that if people don't want to come into the actual Zoom meeting, then they don't have to. They can just see what's going on. Because you know what it's like when you walk through a door into a meeting and there's lots of other people that know who is everybody else and you feel a little bit left out. Well, it just means that somebody can look in, see if they want to join in and then come and join in. And that's why we're doing it that way. For all of the shy people that don't like to join in, well, you've got a turner who's going to be turning for 17 hours and not even looking at who's there.
Martin, the Zoom account you have, are you limited to 100 people or do you have the,
Fred, stop there. We are not having more than 100 people coming to watch me. And yes, I'm limited to 100 people.
well, if you want me to, I'll share the login information and you can use my account to do it. And that will give you up to 300 people.
Fred, you know when you've got a nightclub that says we're full. It's 17 hours worth. And if you just want the queue, you can call in later on.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is I'll share the login information. If you want, I'll be more than welcome to share it with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I just do it for this, for our meeting and just wood turning meetings. I don't do it anything for myself. It's just wood turning meetings. So if you need it, I'll be glad to share it with you if you'd like to use it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Just send me an email and I'll send you back the login information.
Yeah.
If you
Thank
want.
you.
That'd be great, because I think you're going to have a hell of a turnout.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Sounds like it.
You're welcome,
Well,
Martin.
the other thing it does,
What
Martin,
day
it
is
gives you
that?
higher resolution.
Right.
The business account gives you a high res versus the lower resolution. So you'll be at the 1020 instead of the 720. It'll give you a little
cool.
higher resolution too. But shoot me an email and I'll respond back and give you login information and just use it. Not a problem.
Right. Thank you.
What day is that, Martin?
Boy, this is going well. I mean, add Martin to this makes wood turners jump on board. Don't miss out on this. This is your opportunity to help a situation that unfortunately may get a little bit out of control.
Somebody's got a dog barking. Is that just Doug?
Okay. We can help a whole bunch of people in the world just by doing what we do.
Absolutely.
What we do good. And don't forget, we're still collecting we have a program on, and I wrote the man's name down, and I can't read it. 22 pens, and that's Memorial Day project to turn 22 pens for the Freedom Pens. And his plan is to have all this stuff going out to our troops right after Memorial Day. So if you can turn, get in there and start turning. And we still have the wig stand challenge going on. And somebody the other day with the oncology outfit where I get, they said, what about the wig stands? And we got to chatting about it. And I said, there's a lot of people that need that. And she pulled her hair back and said, I do. I would never know it. She works there. But but it only works there as a non-paid volunteer. So we're
Hey,
doing
Eddie.
good.
Hey, Eddie,
Who's there?
this is Dave from Michigan.
Hello, David.
Hey, when you guys started that wig stand thing, I made 15 of them, and I can't get rid of them because they're afraid of spreading the COVID. So I still have the 15 of them in my shop.
Huh.
There's
weird.
no way of everybody I contact. Well, no, they don't want nothing to do with it.
They can wipe them down with Varsol wipes if there's.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. They don't want them, period.
Wow.
No,
Crazy.
that's crazy.
There's no way I can get rid of them.
Did you tell them that it was immune to COVID?
Yeah,
I
wood
don't know.
immune to COVID.
Hey Trey, can you set Kate up for co-host, please?
Thank you.
Yeah, you said that, but my
Thanks,
wife
Brett.
does quilts. My wife does a lot of quilts. And she gives them to, really, for a long time, it was all going to a cancer foundation because one of her friends has really been fighting it. And she wanted to give some to one of the groups at a hospital. And they first said, we can't bring it in because we can't clean it adequately. And that's a little problem because if you can clean the sheets and you can clean the pillowcases and you can clean the smocks and you can clean, you can clean quilts. But she's working on police officer quilts right now to give a division of the sheriff's office by us, I think 80 or 90 quilts to put in the trunk of their police cars so they have something to give to a responding victim that has a need. And her group really does it. She's big, and when I tell you she does 100 quilts a year, I'm not lying. I'm still waiting in line to get her to make me a summer vest. I may have to change it to a winter vest to be safe.
Yeah, and with the wood thing, one of the big universities has proven that wood is antibacterial.
Right.
I would assume it's also somewhat antiviral, but for sure antibacterial, and it's scientifically proven.
Yep.
Wood is, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that goes along with the old wives' tale supposedly about not being able to disinfect your cutting boards.
Yeah,
Because for a long time, you couldn't even find a cutting board commercially that was wood.
Yeah, and then they started making them out of plastic, which carries bacteria.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now
Take
you
them out
can
of
get
the
them back
butcher
in wood
shops.
again.
We took them out of the butcher shops 50 years ago.
Yep.
Made them go with the plastic.
And they texture them to make sure that you get the bacteria.
Yep.
But they look nice. I worked in a meat market, or they were called a meat market then, and you could get shot in the dark if you put any kind of soap on top of a block. I mean, you clean it, but don't put soap on it. They were banking on that embed, and I finished one off to make a counter in my kitchen, big counter, and when they said it all goes in, I know I was in 2 inches in some places, and I was still cutting soaked in oil. So, hey, we got a little gallery going tonight, or we can have one going tonight. It's 25 after the hour. After the hour, our gallery master is Dane Chandler, and if you got something you want to show, all you need to do is put it in chat and say I have something to show. Oh, we had a special request in from Martin Clarkson. Dane, maybe you need to get to work on this. I mean, they want to see Martin turn cute little earrings.
Earring holders. Yeah, holders.
Oh, all right, holders. I didn't see the holders part. Okay.
That has got to come from Billy.
Might have to tune in on the 24th, or
Right.
wait for his regularly scheduled demo that I conned him into.
It's for a good cause.
The
Earring holders.
reason Billy is saying that is because I have always said, I find earring stands the most boring demo I have ever watched over the years I've turned. To watch somebody drilling holes in a piece of wood, clicking round 50 times is far more than I can stand. So no, it will not be earring stand.
I've never made one for that purpose. That whole.
All right, who we have up for gallery tonight, Dane?
Well, we got quite a few coming in so far, so let's go to.
Jump on board, folks.
Let's start with the C's and go with Clint Hoyle. Hey, Clint, your video's off. Can't spotlight you.
Here I am.
There you are.
First, let me show you something. My one of the directors at work said, "Can you make me a spork?" So, can you see that picture?
Your boy said a spork.
I did.
Spoon fork.
I did it. But here's what I finished today. Piece of Purple Heart. The sun's going down. We can't see it that well.
Oh, nice. There it is.
Wood.
Nice.
Nice.
Very
Mhm.
pretty.
That is
Very
pretty.
nice shape. Nice detail.
Yep.
Nice.
The two bands on the outside really accent it.
Yes.
Because it draws your eye to it.
Only you will know that was to cover up a tool mark. Of course.
All right, don't tell anybody, folks.
Definitely not.
Top secret there.
All right, Clint, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. A spork. Of all the things that I thought we'd ever see turned here, spork wasn't on the list. What's got? Which
Yeah, he
what
thought he was
that?
making a joke, but I took it seriously. And I can do it. I can do it.
Never
Right
challenge a wood turner.
Nice looking bowl. Clint,
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, let's go to Robert Clark. Robert,
Hello.
Hey, Robert.
we got you.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I showed my very first goblet, and my wife's reaction was, you can't put much wine in it. So today I surprised her with this one. So
Oh yeah.
anyway,
Oh,
How do
Very
you-
nice.
funny.
How do you say this politely?
Nice.
Robert, your wife's got a drinking problem.
She'd have to be married to me, right?
Yeah, well,
But,
What's the wood you used for that?
Cheers, Robert.
This is actually hard maple. A couple of years ago, I had a couple of Rocklear gift coupons, and I was going to do some demonstrations at the local fair, and I bought these baseball bat blanks from them, and they canceled the fair the last 2 years because of COVID. So I used hard maple baseball bat blanks actually, and it's a lot of fun. I don't think my wife will drink out of them because I
They're
finished them
still
with
too small.
yeah, no, I finished them with basically French polish. It's
Yeah.
whatever the brand name is, and since that's made out of shellac, and I know where shellac comes from, I don't think she'd ever want to drink from it. So even though it's food safe, it's
Yeah.
comes from bugs.
it is the
She don't-
dung of the lac beetle.
She'd only
Well,
drink it one time.
Yeah,
You know, it's gone after that. It's
you'd
the
kill me
alcohol.
after that. Yeah.
It's gone
just like
after that.
honey. Honey's the same thing.
Honey is more of a bee vomit.
Excretion. Oh yeah, that's right. It is. It is vomit. Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah.
From the other end.
Yeah, but the shellac would disappear after one glass of wine.
Probably
Yeah.
true.
Right on. Thank you, Robert.
Very nice though.
Bee
All right,
vomit.
let's go to
Y'all ruined
Randall.
my breakfast. Who's up? Randall.
Hey, guys, I have been busy. And this is what I've been working on.
Ooh, pretty.
Oh, those are
Nice.
nice.
Very nice.
I counted them, 36, and I have about 4 more that I'm working on. And then I'll be done with this particular batch. And if anybody knows an email address for Doug Rowe, if you could shoot it to me, that would really help. I sent him the 2 pens that he was, excuse me, that he was looking for, and they should get there on Thursday.
Okay.
That's
It's
it.
on the website.
Oh, okay.
Good. That,
All
boy,
right,
it's
thank you,
beautiful
Randy.
stuff. I like the
The
accent
address and
lines.
phone
on it.
number was there.
I like the accents on those yellow pens with the burned-in lines. That's a really good touch.
How did you get the yellow?
Actually, those are not real yellow, they're maple. So
Mm.
they're more of a white color than a maple, than a yellow. But
So the lighting effect, huh?
yeah, the lighting in my bedroom is warm white, not very
Natural.
too yellow. So that puts a cast on everything.
Right on.
What kit is that?
Pardon?
Which kit is that?
Oh, those are all slim lines.
Slim lines. Okay.
I got them at the local woodcraft store here in Harrisburg.
Okay.
Doug's information is on the website.
Very nice.
I mean, on the chat.
Yeah, if you get a hold of Doug, it's right there.
All right, thank you.
And
All right, let's go to
also,
Bruce.
the contact
ahead,
from
Eddie.
Martin Clarkson about this donate that we talked about a little while ago, which we'll remind you about later on. The information for the PayPal link for sponsorship is on our chat right now. So if some folks are interested, how can you get involved? This is one of the ways. Thank you, Randall. Good seeing you tonight.
All right, let's go to Bruce in Massachusetts.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. One of our local grocery stores has a farmer's market that they start around Memorial Day. And I've been building an inventory of small items to sell. And I made a pair of tea light candle holders. We got a little tea light cup in them. I've been making a whole bunch of different things, turning and flatwood, but made a bottle opener. Looks like a bottle.
Yeah.
Got something to hold on to.
Yep. And turned a small little bowl.
There you go. What kind of wood?
Be honest with you, I'm not sure. It was a bowl blank that I won at a raffle, and it wasn't indicated what type of wood it was. Not really sure. It's got kind of a yellowish tint to it.
Might be East Coast fogwood.
It probably is fogwood. That would be my guess. But
Green looks like maple.
it's very possible that it is. It turned very nicely and finished very nicely.
That cross ribbeting, I would think maple.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got for tonight.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Bruce is out of Massachusetts. And a minute ago, we had somebody ask about getting a hold of
Doug Rowe.
Doug Rowe. Okay. Here's the deal. We can't provide a membership list or membership roster. We don't have one. We consider everybody in the entire world to be a member. But if you'd like to get a hold of one of these woodturners that are really active as being a member, it's easy. All you have to do is share the information you wish us to share with them, and that is contacts. We do not have a live contact list. The way it works is you put the information you wish to have in your contact in our chat. I mean, look at the chat right now. There's Doug Rowe, Kearney Drive, Prescott, Arizona, and his phone number and all that. That information is what Doug Rowe put into our chat. And he didn't do it this time, he did it a long time ago. But with that, Dave Rose, who's our webmaster, our master webmaster, took that information off the chat and put it in what we call a contact list. Now, if you want to see that contact list, it's easy. You go to contacts on our website, and you'll see one that says member list. You fill out the little card, the little request thing, exactly. And the subject is Captain. CAPTIN, AIN, and Dave picked that. I didn't. But that's how you get it. If you fill it out exactly as it says, you'll get the the contact list emailed to you promptly. If you have a problem with that, and you can't get it, or you don't understand it, or your typing fingers won't follow whatever, just send an email, a contact through our website to David Rhodes and explain the situation. They can contact you and help you out. That's what we do. But I have it stored on my phone, my iPad, my computer, probably written on my underwear. But I have it because folks call me every day. Can I get a hold of Sue? Can I get a hold of Brenda? Can I get a hold of Randall? Yeah, wait, let me look. If they shared that information, I can share it with you. And it's not a live list. It's a current list like a PDF. You have to take the information off. You can highlight it and then post it into your email or your telephone or whatever. We've created what we believe, as close as possible, a bot-free list. So if the robots get a hold of it, and you know they do it, you get calls every day. So we're trying to dodge that. Trace, who we have Dane, who we have up for a gallery?
We got Joaquin up.
Joaquin.
The young one.
The young one? Whoa.
You caught me. Hang on. Let me flip this camera. Maybe. There we go.
Hey,
I've been busy.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I just
my.
saw that on Facebook. That's
That
pretty
is
cool.
nice.
That's Cherry.
Wow.
This is Cherry.
Awesome.
That's piston fit. And then I got some M2 tool steel because I have a scraper that's not long enough. Well, this isn't thick enough to make another scraper, so I made a parting tool, little cherry handle. I'm burning through my cherry, and I made myself a captive ring tool.
Nice.
And I got a thick enough piece of M2 tool steel, but it's not long enough. So I'm going to take it to a buddy who has a forge and have him weld a tang on it so that I can make the scraper I need. For these can slips, with my box rest, I run out of scraper on the edge of the rest before I get to the bottom of the can slip. So I need to make myself a longer scraper. So that's, I do have one more piece. Friend, a fellow veteran, and burgeoning turner gave me some redwood.
Ooh, that is gorgeous.
That's pretty.
Graininess is absolutely incredible.
Well, you see a crow in there, Brenda?
That's what I saw, a raven or a crow, yeah.
Crow or a raven?
A turkey, could be a turkey.
Yeah,
Or a dodo
turkey.
bird?
Could be a duck.
Could be a buzzard.
A dodo bird.
There's a
Oh yeah,
hedgehog.
that's California redwood, and it is
that bowl weighs almost nothing. It's light as a feather.
Yeah, very
Um,
soft.
Be careful breathing in the dust of redwood. That stuff's nasty.
Oh, yeah.
I
Horrible.
turned so few. I mean, literally, it's so rare to get a hold of in North Carolina. And then the only other thing I've really turned is coupling threads. This is my favorite Spock Elder Pearl.
There you
You
go.
probably stole that idea from the other Joaquin, the older one.
Nice.
Well, I did a turning challenge on TikTok to get turners to make eggs. Because if you can make an egg, that's a lot of tool control. That's a really good exercise in tool control.
Did you do it with the skew?
One I did with the skew, one I did with my 3/8 inch bowl gouge,
Nice.
with my Mark Soleil signature grind bowl gouge, or spindle gouge. Sorry, spindle gouge. I do them both ways. In fact, I did 3, but I don't know what happened to the third one. I did one with a bowl gouge, one with the spindle gouge, and one with the skew to show people you can do them with all of these tools.
It's really, if you know the control, if you can hold it, you can turn it, and if you can control the tool, you can slice it. I'm stealing it from Mark Soleil. You can slice it.
Yep.
So,
Right on, Joaquin. Appreciate it.
beautiful work. All right. And he mentioned Mark Soleil, and I have to mention Mark Soleil also because this weekend Mark is doing a demonstration in Louisiana for Southern Bayou Wood Turners. I was hoping that I could get over and see him because no matter what, when you pop in with Mark Soleil, you come back with a little something. He's an awesome demonstrator. He's gruff as can be, but hey, you can't be a sweetheart and be a great demonstrator. At least I don't think you can.
He's all good with us.
We're going to have a great demonstration starting in about 15 minutes with Doug Miller with us tonight. But before that, what else we have, Dane?
Well, we've got Dave Kingsley up next. Come on down, Dave.
I'm here.
We got you loud and clear.
Hey, if I can get my cat out of the way. I turned this piece of can't see the
light's
markings
killing
on
you.
it.
What is
but
it?
Yeah, it's
There you go.
It's pretty.
It's maple.
Ambrosia.
Ambrosia maple.
Yeah.
What's on it for a finish?
It's currently on its third coating of teak oil.
All right. Only 3. Well, call us back
I'm
when
not
you
done
get to
yet.
about
I'm
33.
not done yet.
All right.
And then I did this little box.
Yeah.
Out of cherry.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And
Nicely done.
the grain lines up pretty well. I'm still playing with the Sorby texturizer thingy. I tried a little gold fill in this one. I'm not totally happy with it, but I'm getting there.
Hey,
gold fill or leaf?
It's just a paste I picked up at Michael's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Looks good.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
You can actually get gold impregnated paint at Michael's too.
Yeah.
If you really want to put some 24 karat gold impregnated paint in there. Or 22 karat or...
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that. But I had one problem where I had a catch, took a chunk out of the edge here.
Okay, hey, let's
Very
keep it
frustrating.
quiet. They don't need to know that. Come on.
Well, it's obvious
design
if you look at it.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's a feature.
Yeah, all right.
And
Very
that's it for
nice.
this week.
Very nice. Nice grain match too.
Nicely done.
Well,
Thank you.
But I do have a quick tip while I'm here.
Go for it.
It's something that I love in my shop
are these gadgets. Magnetic, I can stick it to the lathe bed, and I can actually put the light inside of the tool rest so that I can see when I'm hollowing something.
That looks nice. Simple.
Yeah, very, very simple, very effective, very versatile, and very inexpensive.
And you're going to put that source in the chat.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat. What it is, I got 2 of them for $18.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Pretty cheap.
beautiful. And as per last week's edition of a little accident, they can take a beating too.
That's good. That always helps.
Yeah.
Brenda, send him a Band-Aid for his light.
Oh, I was up on the yeah. I noticed I was on the Band-Aid brigade. But that's it.
All right.
Dave,
Well,
thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. You
Well,
got a little
Eddie,
gallery going this evening. Got a demonstration starting in a few minutes. And that
Well,
would
Eddie,
be
I
by
just-
Doug
I just got-
Miller.
I
And
just
just
got
now,
word-
Dave said something about using his the Sorby detailer or embellishment tool, and Dave Doug can tell you when we get there later, you won't get two alike. No matter what you do, you won't get two alike. All right, who's up next?
Well, we've got our demonstrator is actually ready to start demonstrating. If we can go to him.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
All right, well, Doug, let's span
I'm
on
here.
over to you.
I'm here.
There we go.
There
And
you
once
go.
again, folks, during the demonstration, please keep your comments until the end of the program or after, or rather the end of the demo. That way Doug can properly answer your questions.
All right.
Inside the window.
And this is Doug, so don't knock his train off the track. Let him have his train of thought here. Okay.
Woo-hoo. Is that the Chattanooga choo-choo? Are y'all hearing me
got,
okay?
bud?
Yeah, we hear you good, Doug.
Okay, all right. I guess about 8 or 9 months ago, a fella called and said, I've got a bunch of cherry over here. If you'll come by and pick it up. He said, I don't know what you need, so you need to come and pick out what you want, cut it the way you want, and you know, you can have all of it you want. Well, I got over there, and it was probably a 30 or 40 foot trunk section that he had, and it had been laying at the bottom of the hill, almost in the ditch line. And so it was pretty wet on one side. We cut off, I don't know, about a 2.5, 3 foot section of it, and split that in half. And lo and behold, inside it was beautiful. I brought that one chunk home and got it cut into a size I could put on the lathe, and decided I'm going to core this out. I'm not going to waste this wood. So I've cut now 2 of these. What size is that? 6 inches or so, 5 1/4 ish. Anyway, 2 of these. These were the 2 center sections of that log. It's my 2 center cores, the smallest one. So it's 5 1/4 by about 1 1/4 inches thereabout. This one was second turn today. I cored these the day I got them, so it's been 8 or 9 months ago, and they are bone dry. I took those 6 cores that I got out of those 2 half logs, put them in a garbage bag full of the shavings from the coring and the trimming up. I trimmed them up just a little bit, just so that they would be, so they sit good, and hopefully be close to ready when I went to return them. So this one and the other one that I turned, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, they were bone dry. So what I'm going to do is take one of my second coring, this one, and we're gonna do a second turn on it. One of the questions I get asked, and I'm sure you all have either asked it or been asked, what do you do with a piece of wood that doesn't have a center on it? Was talking with one fella, he had just gone to a wood bolt company that had gone under, and he was on his way home with, I think it was the 3rd load. He had one of the old time station wagons, one of the big ones. 3rd load of these dried bowl blanks, but they were They were dished out in the center, and on the backside they were just smooth. He said, I got to figure out how in the world to hold those so I can get a tenon on them. And I tried to tell him, and he was not believing what I was telling him. But anyway, I do have at least have a center spot. There's a bit of a tenon. It's out of round, and it's also shaped wrong. It tapers out as you get closer to the bowl, so it's actually opposite of what it needs to be. So what I want to do tonight is going back to what Eddie said a while ago. If you can hold it, you can turn it. And so how are we going to hold this so that we true this up? How do we get it ready to do a final turn on it? I've got here my chuck. This is the old original Nova chuck. I've got it out. I've got it opened up so that the carriers are just to the outside edge. They're not extending beyond. Just in case I happen to put my hand on it, I don't want it to cut me up. And they will do that. What I'm going to do is take this bowl, take the top side of it. I'm going to put it against the chuck, and I'm going to bring my tailstock up with my live center in it. There we go. And this is the same live center that was in it when I was working on it, just cleaning it up. And so I can get this thing centered pretty easily right there. Now, I've heard people say, that scares me to death. How in the world can you can't trust that? I'm not going to turn this 1,000,000 miles an hour. In fact, there's a piece skipping off of it right there. That wood is so dry. There's still enough wood there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tenon straightened up, and I'm going to do maybe 2.5, 3 inches on this bottom side is all I'm going to do before I flip it around. So I'm not going to turn it fast. In fact, now that I've checked it, make sure it's not going to hit my tool rest. I'm going to turn it on at 250. I'm going to get my face shield and put it on just in case. Can y'all still hear me okay?
Fine, Doug. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. We'll give it just a little bit more speed. That's at 500. And I'm just coming in here very lightly. I just wanting to make this tenon just a little bit deeper than what it was. And I'm going to change the shape of the tenon. It's just shaped wrong right now. If that wood was green, I'd be hogging it. I wouldn't have any problems hogging it. I'm going to take my skew, lay it on its side, and all I'm doing here is shaping, using it as a scraper. I'm even going to come in from the other side here. I'm not making that tenon a true dovetail. Somebody asked me about that recently, and fact is, when I checked my jaws are not dovetail jaws on the inside. They are on the outside, but not on the inside. They're straight on the inside. And so I wanted just a slight, not even a full dovetail, but just a little bit of an angle so that those jaws have something to grab hold of. Okay, now that I've done that, get my tool rest out of the way. I'm going to get rid of that live center in there. I said tool rest, that's tailstock. Get rid of the live center so I don't poke my elbow. I'm the world's worst at that. We'll lock my spindle. Then we can start tightening this down. I gauged the size of that tenon against that live center. I've learned that my live center, if I make it just a little bit bigger than the live center, I've got a good size for my tenon. So that's what I gauge by so that I don't have to drag out my calipers all the time. Seems like I remember Eddie doing a video where you spent probably 10 or 15 minutes talking about that, didn't you, Eddie?
I believe so, sir.
It's been a while back since that video came out, but I watched it.
I had hair then.
Probably. I wasn't going to talk about that.
Oh, Ronnie will bring it up. Give him a chance.
Oh, I'm sure. What I'm going to do is start back here by close to the chuck, and all I'm trying to do is kind of smooth this out. I could have done it with the other way around. However, because I had a warped surface against the chuck, I don't trust that, and it would probably be uneven when I turned it around. I'm using that edge, using the back side of that bevel, and it's a light cut. It's not a heavy cut because I'm so uneven. If I could do a push cut, I would. But obviously I can't get in there to do a push cut. It's starting to get pretty smooth, especially toward this back end. It's really this top third that is still. I am dropping this handle a fair amount. It's not level by any means. And that helps as well. It makes more of a shearing cut. We've been talking about Mark Filet on here tonight. All right, I'm going to adjust my tool rest just a bit so I can get closer to this edge. Again, checking, make sure I'm clear. I'm going to give it just a touch more speed. Trying to watch my horizon so I can see what's going on. We're pretty good until you get right here at the edge. I'm going to save that for just a minute. Well, yeah, let me adjust my tool rest and then we'll hit that. And then I've got a little issue that Dane and I have worked out, I think. I'm going to have to rearrange, move my camera. So let me get this edge and then we'll take care of that.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready to do the camera change and then we'll go back to gallery.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Dane. Still got just a little, just slightly out of shape here. I'm going to make one more adjustment here to this outside before we go on. Yeah, still got plenty of meat there. Let me just reiterate again, when I poured this 8 or 9 months ago, it was dripping wet. It was slinging water like crazy. Now it is bone dry. There we go. A little bit of a lump right in this area. That's better. All right, what I would normally do at this point, I'm basically done with the outside. Because of the dryness and everything, there is a pretty bad area right there, but that will sand. But what I would typically do now would be sand as much of this backside as I can reach comfortably. I don't want to get into these jaws, these openings in these jaws. But I would sand the basic part of this outside as well as the rim. Because it's sanding is sanding. And I'm not going to put everybody through that tonight. So what I'm going to do now, just for brevity's sake, Dane's going to take care of a couple more gallery items, and then while he's doing that, I'm going to move my camera so that you have a better view. All right, Dane, you ready for that?
Sounds good. Thanks, Doug.
All right,
We'll be
see
back to
y'all
you in a
back
minute.
here in just a few minutes.
Right on. So up next, we're gallery. We're going to go to Charlie Bundy. Charlie, still there?
Yeah,
There you
I'm here.
I got you now.
I got to apologize. Last week, I said that I got that. It's called the donut holder for coring round stuff from the Montana spinner, wood spinner, or what? I didn't. He sells somebody's version of it. The one that I got it from was Mike Peace.
Okay.
And he does not have the instructions up there anymore. He used to have diagrams. He got in trouble with copyright.
Uh-huh.
He was putting a page of a book up there that got him into trouble.
That'll happen.
Show a segmented urn. This one is 16 rings with 14 segments.
Wow.
The main body is plywood.
That's what I thought I was looking at.
It's
That's
various
pretty.
kinds. There's furniture grade plywood, building plywood. The top is soft maple. The top ring and the bottom are a combination of cedar and birch.
Very nice.
That is cool.
Very, very nice.
That's too cool.
The inside is coated with just plain Minwax polyurethane.
Inside looks as nice as the outside.
The outside, that's, yeah, that takes a lot. The outside is the General's bull finish.
Yeah,
How much will that
how
hold?
many quarts did it take?
It doesn't take as much as a person thinks. There's 4 coats on it. And it didn't maybe take a 1/4 inch out of a quart can.
Really? You
then-
think of all that open grain of plywood, it would just suck it up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Huh.
And there
Really
it's
pretty work,
almost as identical as I could get, except I inverted it.
Oh, that's pretty. How much will that hold?
Each one will hold approximately 220 cubic inches, a 220 pound per.
Wow. Very nice.
And the
Well,
black
that's
that you
definitely
see
cool.
streaking through it, that's coffee grounds. It's where after I had the rings all together, Mother Nature decided to work, and I didn't feel like cutting them all apart again. This one is 15 rings and 14 segments each ring. It's made out of plywood, and the top and bottoms are the same, birch and cedar.
Hmm.
And the inside.
And is your bottom a floating ring, or is it all solid construction?
What do you mean?
It's all solid. I answered my question by looking at it.
Okay, yeah, it's segmented solid with a piece in the middle. I tried getting them all, the segment all the way across, didn't work. Now, a little tip. I take polyurethane and I open the cans and I let them get thick a little bit. And then I coat it, and then I cover it and put just a little air pressure in it that spreads that polyurethane, and it'll fill any crack, any little divot, makes it waterproof. And you don't want whoever you put in it to know.
How about
You
that?
put them in a vacuum pot?
I don't have one. You could.
I don't understand what you're saying, how you did that then.
I coat them and I put a air hose in and just turn the air pressure on with something over the top, holding it fairly tight. So that
Oh.
poor man's way.
Smart man's
That's all I
way.
had.
Thank you,
Right on,
Charlie.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to Greg Bray. Greg, where you at, buddy?
You got me?
Yeah, now I see you.
Okay. Here in Kentucky, there's a lot of rabbits out this season, and
you found one.
I found one.
Cute.
And his head turns.
Cool.
Look at that.
I like that head turning notion. Yeah.
I know, right?
And it's very simple. Just a little dowel rod on there with a hole drilled in it.
Ray's the only thing wrong with that is my wife just saw it.
What one?
Guess what you're going to be doing here shortly, Dean?
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see a video coming on that.
You might do that.
Yeah.
That's
What's
all
it made,
said, might
what's it
do
made
that.
out of,
Sign 'em
Greg?
up.
What you make it out of, Greg?
It's out of mahogany, and it's even got, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's even got hair. And I just took a wire brush and chucked it up in my lathe with the tailstock into it, and then I just took that wire brush with it rotating and hit that mahogany, and it just makes it look like hair.
Yeah.
And
Neat.
then
Good
where the eye sockets are, I took my Dremel and hollowed it out some so to give it a little bit of depth. And the same way with inside the ears. And and to turn the ears, I had two pieces of mahogany, and I took some double-sided tape and stuffed them together, and then taped around them, and then turned the ears. And then I took the two-sided tape apart, and I had two ears, and then hollowed the ears out.
That's cool.
And then
That's cool. Very
we
nice.
done the eyes and the nose and the mouth. I'm not satisfied with the mouth, and I'm not satisfied with the tail. So I'm going to redo the tail and maybe do something different on the mouth. So, but I'll put a couple more coats of spray on it after I get all that done. So something
Yeah,
here
that's
for
really
me.
cool. Good job, Greg.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Dane, I wrote it down in case you missed it, but I think Dean volunteered to do a demo. I'm not
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
I snuck that in on him because because I know he's going to make a video on that. So maybe he'll do that for his regularly scheduled one that's coming up.
Oh no! If he, he's already had one, and
Well, no,
don't miss
it's
the
up to him.
chance.
He's scheduled, so it's dealer's choice. He can make do that or do another.
Well, we spoke last week about this, and members, here's the deal: we've got 8 or 10 members that do regular demonstrations for us. Let me tell you from history, that is not always fun. As Martin Clarkson said a while ago, it's sometimes nerve-wracking, and you've got 100 folks watching you, and some people just can't or don't want that pressure in their life. But if we make them do it over and over and over again, we'll lose those members. We'd rather see some new faces. Not that the old ones are bad. We'd just like to see some new faces. So if you've got an idea for a demonstration you can do, just like the tips and tricks, share it with us. We'll get in there. And see, Doug Miller is doing his demonstration night on a cell phone. And that's why he had to move the camera. On a cell phone. So don't tell me you can't do it. Because probably whatever you're listening to or watching on tonight can do it for you. So, but that's it. And Dane, I see Brenda got her voice back.
Yes, she did.
Brenda's
had to log out, come back in.
Well, I'm glad it worked out on that side for you.
That's that ONOFF button. Try it every time.
Yeah.
Who
All
else
right,
is
well,
up for gallery?
well,
We
let's
not ready to
go
go
to
back to Doug yet.
Let's go to our old buddy Trey here. Trey's got something. What you got, Trey? You're muted, I think. There you go.
Okay. I got a little trifennial that I was working on.
That's nice.
Flying
Very
around a
uniform.
Rose engine.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So this is the first try at it. So I thought I'd keep on going. I made one a long time ago, and it didn't turn out so well. I'm working to see if I can get a little better with it. But
they're beautiful
Hey,
pieces
sign
to
him
work
up for
with.
a demo on that.
do you have about 4 hours?
Sure.
You gonna rush through it?
4 hours is a rush job.
This is one where, folks, you watch the machine and you watch television at the same time, because something's got to keep your attention.
Yeah, as I'm going down and moving down here, I'm moving 10 thousandths per about every half minute. So
Yeah, but it's a fun thing, and the work is gorgeous. What's the material?
Piece of maple, hard maple.
They come out nice. I'm gonna throw something you've been. Have you done run out of Blackwood yet?
I have not tried Blackwood. I'll try that next.
Book a week.
So I'm new enough. I have no idea how you did that.
Oh, who's that? Who's that? Say that again.
I said I'm new enough. I have no idea how he did that.
That is on an ornamental lathe, and the key to the ornamental lathe is what we would think is the headstock or the main spindle oscillates or moves, rocks to match a template, which gives it the point. He's using one on 3 orbs, so his cutter goes in 3 times in one orbit, and it takes. I mean, these are Liberty pointed tools, and the cutters are powered, not handheld.
Okay.
And they slice away, as he said, 10,000ths of an inch. Those are heavy-duty cuts. And it's the mystery to watch them, to watch these machines work. I mean, if you watch for a little while, you just wonder, why can't I do that?
Well, Eddie, one thing I might be able to do is if I'm doing one, you could probably do a little 5-minute thing on it and show it running.
That'd be great.
And that way people, halfway down it or something like that, and that way people would understand what it is and what it's doing.
Yeah, it's a very
instead of the whole process, they can watch about 5 minutes of it or something.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
That
One of
would,
the
that would
things
probably
you
help a
might
lot of
be
people
able-
out to understand what it really is.
And
Trace,
if you
one of the
wonder,
things you might be able to do is do some video and then edit the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Doing the different steps and.
I've
But
done
I'm
that, and
not
also
sure.
ran an hour long.
Even if you don't have a Rose engine lathe, you're not going to do it anyway. So it may be just the point of picking up part way and just showing part of it and just talking about it.
And that's so my brain can comprehend it.
And that's what it would do. Your brain would comprehend what it is, and you can see what it's doing.
Yeah, yeah. Great, thank you.
And it's probably not worth getting into the details of the detailed setup of it and all that kind of stuff, because without a Rose engine, you can't do it anyway. So
right, okay.
But now, don't get fooled in believing, well, in today's world of computers and such, that you can do this. I have seen Rose engine lathes that were water powered. Yes, water powered. Not from the garden hose either. And they come in all versions, all types, understandings. Trace and I both knew a man that in his house in the French Quarter of New Orleans, he probably had 30 different Rose engine lathes in there. And one status or another. Working, saving parts, just had a chance to need to buy it and have it. Once you get addicted to it, you're in. And when I was speaking of course Duplessis, he was an artist before he left us. Who else do we have up for gallery tonight? Or are we going to go back to Doug?
I'm waiting for Doug to message me back on whether he's ready yet.
All right.
So in the meantime, let's go to Johnny.
Johnny Hughes?
You betcha.
Uh-oh, trouble in Lighthouse.
There he is. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, how are y'all?
Pretty good.
I was playing around with something here the other day. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a candle and a candle holder. The candle holder is made out of mahogany. The candle itself is made out of pine that's been dyed white. And I don't know if you can see the tip of it is also pine, but it's been dyed with yellow and then red to make it look like a flame in there. But that's just a little something I wanted to try. I saw somebody else do it on the internet over there in the UK. So I said, well, I can do that.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Don't hope your in-laws don't come over and set fire to it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's lit already. So hopefully.
All right.
I did there.
Very nice. Cool.
Nice
Thank you,
job.
Johnny.
All right. Well, let's go back to Doug Miller. He's ready to go. Hey, Doug.
Yep.
Got your mute
Turns out I
button
was
fixed,
muted.
right?
Yeah. I
Right
I
on.
stood 3 or 4 times. I'm sitting here ready, and nobody heard me. All right, we've turned around. We've moved the camera a bit so that you can see inside, and you can see that top end is still extremely warped. So first thing we're going to do is straighten out this rim. It's good across this edge, but this edge is not. So let's get that straightened out. I'm starting kind of in the middle and working my way back. Reason being, I don't want to catch that edge and blow it. I also want this rim to slope in just a little. There we go. Not a drastic slope, just a little bit. I'll use my digital calipers there to see where I'm at. All right. And then, let me turn this off and you can see it, I think. That inside, this edge in here, this is not rounded at all. And so we're going to start here, just move slowly in toward the center like we normally would on any bolt. And we've gotten pretty well straight as far as round down to the point where I just quit. So I'm feeling, where am I up here toward the top? I can still take out another 1/8 of an inch or so on this rim. Oh yeah, still gets thicker up here toward this outer. I've got an iPad here so I can see what's going on, but yeah, right up here I'm still a little thicker, but I'm going to leave that because I like the size of this rim. We're good down to where we ended at, where that ridge is. So we're just going to keep on going from here at this point. All right, I just want to smooth that out now. Let's see. I'm going to lower that tool rest just a hair and turn it in, get it a little closer. Then we can get that center. There we go. And other than sanding and finishing, that's it. You have seen here in just whatever it's been, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. I went from a dry, roughed out bowl to one that is basically done. I do still have to sand, backside, inside. I've got to get the finish on it. I've got to turn it over and get the tenon off. But honestly, what I think I'm going to do, open that up, it's getting hot under the hood. When I turn that around and I work on that tenon, what I think I'm going to do is incorporate the tenon into the foot. I'll probably reduce the height of it just a little bit. I'll dish it out on the inside of that cove, much like I did the smaller one. This was my tenon, and I reduced it by half or so, and it's hollowed out just a bit. I put my rings, my maker's mark in there like I normally do, and you know, it's as easy as that. I think too often we make things a little more complicated than they need to be. But this was 8 or 9 months ago. This was green as grass, and like I said, I put it in a garbage bag with the shavings of this same cherry. I had quite a bit after coring those 2 half logs, and then doing a little bit of cleanup work on them before I put them into the bag. And they are teetotally bone dry. I know some people would say they're too dry, but they're really not. They'll stand out, and they'll stand out beautifully. They're not going to be works of art by any means. I'm surprised they've got as much figure in them as they do. I was not seeing any figure when I cut it, but even like right through there's that nice dark streak there. Seems like I saw some curl. There, I did see some curl. It's right over in here in this area. There's some right over here as well. You can't see that, I don't believe, but there is a little bit of curl on there. So once I get it sanded down to 320, abrasive paste up to 1,000, may go up to 2,000 on that. Then I get some wax on it, and it'll be stunning. Any questions?
What's your wall thickness going to be on that, Doug?
Well, I've got the things right here. The thing, technical term, right? That's 3/16.
Right on.
So yeah, it's not heavy. It was closer, it's a hair over a half, I guess, when I started, and now it's down to 3/16. Little thicker at the rim, little thicker right here, but that will get thinned out, and it's only thicker because that's where I left what could be a foot on back there, but that's going to come off here in just a little bit.
Very
That's
nice,
good.
Doug.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Doug, what would you use for a finish on this from here right now?
I've got several choices. What I did on this one that I showed you that I did earlier today, that's nothing but wax. I did the abrasive paste and then wax. After I do the abrasive paste on there and I get it the way I want it, depending on what I see, I may put a coat of oil on it and then wax it. I could even go to the antique oil. That works so nicely. Leave build up 3 coats of that with 24 hours in between, and it builds up a beautiful high gloss finish. So there's 3 choices right there: wax, oil. Actually 4. You do wax, oil and oil, or oil and wax, or go to the antique oil.
Beautiful. We'd like to see it when you throw a finish on it, if you would, sir.
Absolutely. It'll go on to the Facebook page, and I'll send you a picture as well.
All right.
Great
Well,
job.
hey,
Doug.
Right on. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doug.
You're so welcome.
And there's some folks that would believe that is a difficult thing to master. He just did it for you. 30 minutes, took a roughed in bowl that was roughed in improperly, not set up right. He corrected the back end, and I mean, I was a little bit amazed about how simple he made it appear, because he took all the complex out of it. Did y'all see the special chuck he had? And the holder, he didn't have one. He didn't have one. He did it just with a very basic lever bar chuck, which is, in today's world, people say, well, you can't do anything with that. Oh, yes, you can. And that's how I've done it before. Thank you, Doug. Awesome. If you had to come away with something on that, this is the positive end of it. It really is. We're going back to gallery for a little bit. In about 5 minutes, we're going to have a display of today's gallery. But first, I'm going to go back to Dane, because Dane's got some folks lined up, and they want to show their work.
Yep, I'll go to it real quick, but question, Eddie, the tips and tricks, are we going to be able to show that tonight?
I don't have one. The gentleman still hadn't gotten back to me. And I had a preparation for a backup. I don't put it on this computer.
Okay.
I will have that fixed next week. But, and don't want to embarrass anybody.
Right.
If you get busy and you can't do it for us, you can't do it for us. That's all there is to it.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to check on it.
All right, and look, Dane, dock him. Dock his check.
Right. All right. Well, with that, let's go back to gallery and let's go with Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey, this is a follow-up to Trey's demonstration last week on the piercing. I had a couple of questions myself this week on my own setup. So this is the little fixture that I have that I use to do things in. This is air directly from my compressor. I got all these parts at Harber. Well, not this part. This is the air hose I'm using. I got from a company that went under and was throwing stuff out, and I got like 500 feet of plastic tubing and these little compression fittings. But this could easily be a standard air hose nipple or female bit to take the male nipple. So all these parts came from Harbor Freight. This section here is a single part. It costs like 10 or 12 bucks or something, and it consists of a regulator knob here, an air pressure dial, and a moisture trap. I think that's what these are called, right? And then this is a little brass valve okay, that screws into the side of this, and this is the connector for my air from the compressor. So this just, let's see if I could show this. This just, I can regulate the air through the regulator and by turning the little valve, the little ball valve. And then this bit here is just a little nipple for my air hose. And this air hose just plugs right straight onto my dental drill. So that's all there is to it. And it's 4 parts. It's this bit here that has the regulator, the air compressor, and moisture trap, a valve, a nipple for the hose. I think this is an 1/8 inch hose that goes on, and Trey can confirm, or the other people who do this. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's what this is. And then a fitting that screws into this side of it. And I think they're all like 1/4 inch fittings on this to take the air from the compressor. And that's all there is to it, really. So any questions on that?
That works. The only thing I would do on that is I would move your valve away from your thing, about 1 inch further away. No, same side, but put a short extension on it so it's easy to get to the thing, because it looks like it's hard to grab because it's your gauge interferes with it.
Yeah, it's not really, because this is open and this is closed.
But when you try to open it, like your gauge is almost in the way of getting your finger to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's what I say. Move it out 1 inch.
That's a good suggestion.
It looks good.
Great. Hey, thanks, Matt. That's awesome.
Yep. So and it just sits on the table, and I can, right where the station where I'm carving, and this is just scrap wood I had sitting around the shop. So, and it's just screwed in there. So no big deal.
Quick question.
Yes,
How
sir.
much pressure does it take to run that?
I think that mine runs the same that Trey's does, at roughly 30 psi, 35 psi.
About 35 ps. It's about 35 psi.
Yeah, this will go up to like 125 psi. So you got all kinds of room.
Okay, thank you.
You don't want to go, if you go over 35 psi, you'll burn your turbines out real quick.
Yep.
You overspeed those turbines and burn them up.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it. Looks good.
Matt,
Thank
I
you.
got a question for you.
Yeah.
I could use that for my airbrush. Does that moisture trap work pretty well?
Yeah. I mean, things are pretty humid here, and not as humid as those guys in the south, but in the summer it can get pretty humid here, and I don't have any problem with
because I'm having trouble with my airbrush and moisture getting in it, and I got a trap on it, but I just wondered that setup there might be better than what I got.
Well,
Yeah,
I use the same thing for my airbrush. I use my airbrush and thing interchangeably with a quick disconnect on it, and I'll switch from one to the other.
Okay.
Yep. I've got friends who airbrush who do exactly the same thing.
That was my next question. Thank you.
If you're getting water problems coming into your airbrush, though, you need to look at your lines and that kind of stuff. It's important to try to look at your lines and try to control that before it gets to you.
And your compressor itself, make sure your compressor's regularly emptied.
Well, I think I got such a long hose, and I'm thinking that I need to put something like that closer to my airbrush.
Are you just running a hose from your compressor?
Yeah, but it's got a trap on the compressor, but I'm still getting moisture in there.
You need to put you need
it's
a moisture
building up
separator
condensation.
at the end of the. You need a moisture separator at the end of the hose before you get to your airbrush.
Yes.
Because what happens is you're blowing warm, humid air in your hose, and water's going to condense in your hose as the air cools down.
Right.
So that will turn to water, and you'll blow it out.
Correct. Thanks.
Don't get rid of the water separator at your compressor. That's just putting a little bit more help in the line. But they both have the.
And this has got a little filter in it too, and this bit unscrews, and you can clean it and take it out and replace it and so on. So.
Thank you, Matt. Great idea, sir. Thank you for sharing it with us tonight. Last week, Trace was with us, and he did a carving with pneumatics. and he showed us a couple of the tools he used. And we have a lot of folks that say, wait, what was that? Was that in? Or watching the repeat. Okay, we have a newsletter just for that. To put more information, more detail. I am going through right now developing a sheet for the newsletter on that. Now, it will tell you the products that probably what Trace is using, what I'm using, what Matt's got right there, and a handful of other guys right now. And I'm going to give you the manufacturer and the model number and how it's all worked out. But those are not commercial endorsements. We don't do commercials. What I'm going to say in the article is this is our recommendations, but please find a manufacturer that you are happy with. Because if you shop this around, you might do good. If you're shopping around the wrong place, you'll just be shopping it around. It won't work at all for you. And as just now we heard, the air separator, the water separator at the compressor, and you got all this hose, that's physics of what happened there. How can we conquer that? Is just to add the small device that you need, and for the tool. And you'd be surprised how much that's going to help your airbrush and what you're spraying, because that moisture's coming through there, mixing with your finish, your paints, your sealants, whatever. And if you get worried about getting a little blotching stuff, guess what that little blotchy stuff is? Good old water. Okay, it's about 25 minutes to the top of the hour. We're here at worldwidewoodturners.org, and we're doing a little gallery and a few other things here tonight. And if you'd like to be part of it, please jump right in. If you're just joining us, early this evening we heard from Martin Clarkson. Martin is one of our British members, and Martin's got a program he's going to be doing on the 24th of April, and some of that information is already in our chat, and we'll review it again later. But Martin's going to do a 17-hour working session, turning goods that can be sold and the money donated to the Ukraine people. 17 hours. Because he said if you want help in Ukraine, 17 hours is fast travel. So he's going to be doing that, and we'll pump it up as much as we can. And that's because we can do the right things for the right people. And I'm going to, right now, I'm plugged in.
That was the 24th, that was on the 24th, you said?
Yes, sir, the 24th. All right. And the 424. I got married on that date a long time ago. Whew. All right, we have a gallery. We popped this up here, folks. We're going to do this gallery for you. This is this week's incoming gallery. Now, if you saw that, you've seen a pretty good gallery we had come in this week. That was it surprised me we run more than the 3.5 to 4 minutes, and we haven't seen it all. And just tonight, I've taken in about 10 more photographs. If you'd like to be part of that gallery, which we also share to the website, which we also share to the newsletter, which we'll also share to Facebook, which we also share to YouTube. Yeah, you see, folks, if you show it to us, we show it to the entire world. All you need to do is email me the photograph to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. It's that easy. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Now, for you folks that say, well, I'm going to drop it on the website or I'll drop it on YouTube and such, sometimes we can't capture it in a quality. And if I can't get it in good quality, I'm not going to use it because your work is better than that. So we'd like you to get to us so you can share the information. And I say this every time. When you looked at gallery just now, didn't you get some brain aches about, wow, I can do that? Wonder how they did that. You know, I mean, look what Billy Dillard and Bray did. They're both rabbits, you know, but they don't look alike because they weren't made by the same guy at the same time in the same wood. There's no such thing as the same wood. But if you'd like to be part of sending us what you make, I'd like to see it. Everything from pens on up and down. If you turn it, we want to show it. All right, it's we got about 1/4 to the top of the hour. We've got a little time to chat tonight. If you got some problems, some ideas, and remember, we are always looking for tips and tricks. So if you've got one you'd like to share with us, this is a place to do it. And
Hey,
if you
Eddie.
want to do one, hello.
Eddie, it's Sue. I just want you to know that all of us appreciate what you do for that gallery presentation. It is beautiful. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, he does a great job putting that together, especially with all the animation and everything. It's slick.
Yeah, very nice.
Eddie, we appreciate everything you do.
I'm going to jump in and say absolutely cracking job, Eddie. But the one thing I find most interesting, and the webmaster will be able to do this, and I hope everybody else will do this. The faces that I see on the screen, and I've been here right from the start. When the meeting started years ago, I still see a lot of the same faces on this group that have been here a long time. But yet I can see the gallery getting better and better and better if you go back and you start looking. Now, have we changed turners, or are you all inspiring each other? And if you're inspiring each other, that gallery shows everything. Well done, well done, Eddie, for putting it together. You have a look through some of the previous galleries, and you'll see as we move forward the difference in the turnings that's getting presented. So as a group, well done.
I say yes, Martin. I say yes, Martin. I think it's both of those things. I think that we're all inspiring each other. I know I'm inspired, and I think that people, we're getting more new people getting involved, and I agree. It's clearly getting better. That's great.
Yeah,
I take something away from every one of these meetings and the demonstrations and the suggestions everybody has. I take something away every single time, something new.
Well, Eddie's still there. What's going on?
Okay.
Not getting enough away from the meetings.
Making him blush.
Well done, Eddie.
Thank you. And folks, if I would use the phrase a labor of love, I'm not overusing it. It is a labor of love. I like doing this. I love doing it. When I was with a club a long time ago, and when I went to SWAT, and SWAT's coming up this year, okay? When I went to SWAT a couple of years ago, all I did for the 4 or 5 days I was at SWAT was sit next to, my lady friend Ruth Niles was there, and Vince was right across from me, and it's like a family that you like to talk to. And I sat there and I answered questions and helped people out for 4 or 5 days. And that's where this all came from. Really, this came from right there. Because what I realized was after 3 or 4 days, and I came back and talked to Ronnie about it. I said, Ronnie, you missed it. I was sitting on a tailgate talking to probably 100 different wood turners over the last couple of days. And he said, 100 wood turners? I said, yeah, we had a big ass, a big tailgate. And, but there was room for everybody on there. That's where Ronnie and I went to develop this program. There's no money, no bucks, nothing in it for any single member except the honor of being a part of this group, the knowledge you'll gain from this group, and the availability to produce and provide information to this group. That's why we started. Wasn't for any one person or two people to get up and show off. I haven't done a demonstration yet. And don't tell Dane.
It's
I've been trying.
Dane, you need to talk to him there, brother.
I've been
I want to
trying.
do
Yeah, I remember you doing one, Eddie. Come on, now you were sitting in front of the lathe. Where was that? A couple weeks ago when you first got the shop up, didn't you do something on the lathe?
Oh, I was behind the lathe just because I wanted y'all to know it's here. Look, it's right back there.
Okay.
You know, say, oh yeah, you
Dane
got
could,
to
line
wait.
you, Dane could line you up with a demo.
It was
Yeah,
fits
sure
and
could.
fits.
Didn't
Yeah,
you
I've been
help
trying.
with a
I've been
demo
trying,
on
folks.
Carfax?
I can't do a demo till I get a brand new cell phone.
Hitless pin, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Having a
Hey,
lot
Eddie.
of fun, folks. I want to thank y'all. Every week I go away with something besides a good feeling in my heart. I go away with something from wood turners just like you. And I'm seeing some fantastic stuff that comes in for gallery. And I got to say this something, you know, like today I told Susan I saw a pen she turned in. Also saw some stuff coming from, oh man, you know I can't do names, folks. But saw some other stuff coming today. You may think they're simple projects. Let's not run anybody down here. There's no such thing as a simple project.
Nope.
You have to hold it to turn it. Once you turn it, you have to finish it. Once you finish it, you have to make it lovable. And really, it's all part of a process. So tonight we learned how to hold something to turn it. We talked about 4 different finishes to put on it. We got to ask Doug to show us when it comes back how beautiful it's going to be. And that's because he will turn it right, won't tear it up, won't rush into it. He made slicing cuts all the way through tonight. Won't do that. And when he gets done and works it out, the Chatoyans would just come jumping out of that piece to show it to you. You got all that right here. And look, if you think it's good, put a tip in the tip jar when you get done tonight. We having a lot of stuff show up on chat. I'm going to bump this in here right now. There's IRDs, etc., all in the chat. And folks, members, we don't want to promote IRDs, shows, functions, and all that stuff for the benefit of any sponsorship. You have an IRD, put it in that chat. Everybody gets it, see the chat. Save the chat. It's right there. The chat goes onto our website, so if you miss it, you can get it from our website. When Master Dave, our webmaster, puts it up there, you can get it there. We want to share this information one more time. We are not commercial, so we can't have a sponsorship. We really don't want one. I'm going to get out of the way. Y'all pump my head up so big I can barely get out the door. I'm going to go back to one of our co-hosts, Jane Channel, out of Tucson, Arizona, to see what's up next here on worldwidewoodturners.org.
Well, we got a couple more gallery items, but thought maybe we'd span over to California and do a shop tour of Scott Hampton.
Sure, go ahead. Let's go to California. We were just in Massachusetts a minute ago. All right.
Right.
Oh, where's my picture? Give me a second. My video's not coming up. There we go. All right. So I got it's a video of my shop. It's not really a live thing. So, Dane, if you can let me share my screen.
Yeah, you should have it already.
All right. Let's see. What do I got here? This. Let me enlarge it. All right. So we should be ready to go. Let me know if you guys can hear it all right.
Oh yeah, we got the tunes going.
All right.
Look at Brenda bopping to that.
This is on my YouTube channel, so that's why it's got this beginning on it. All right, everybody. We are outside the door of the man cave, the Willy Wonka of wood shops. This is Scott Hampton's workshop. Let's take a tour, shall we? This is a fine evening to be visiting the shop. And you can see there's an overall view of the workshop. And we're going to swing up here real quick. We're going to take a look at this and try to get this. This is one of my first wood burnings I did 22 years ago. Unfortunately, it's kind of faded now. Who knew I was supposed to put varnish on it instead of polyurethane? But it still looks pretty nice. And yes, I need my garage time. Let's back off here a little ways, and we can take a look at my clamp rack that's on wheels. These clamps are usually used for making my rocking horses. I haven't made any for a couple years, but I plan to do some more in the near future. Here's my dust collector, also on wheels, and my water cooler, which I would not survive the summers here in Central California without it. So let's see here. One of a few toolboxes I have in my shop. It contains everything I need, plus accessories for this. This is my Shopsmith. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with a Shopsmith, but it's a combo woodworking machine. It can be a table saw, which is set up to do right now, and it can be a lathe, a drill press, a horizontal boring machine, and a disc sander. And I also have some accessories up here. A belt sander that attaches to the end, a jointer that does the same thing, and the small bandsaw. Pretty nifty stuff. And on the wall there, that is a large sliding crosscut sled for the Shopsmith. I also have the router table set up right here. So it's set up for both table sawing and routing at the moment. And now let's stand back a little bit and take this in. This is my 18-inch bandsaw. You can see all my wood behind it too. Cutting depth and 18-inch diameter wheels. And as you can see behind it, that's one of my stashes of wood. All kinds of wood. Old turning planks up on top, black walnut, black cherry, walnut, all kinds up there. Maybe even some maple. All right, here's some aspen logs wrapped in cellophane. Keep the moisture in for a little while. Some spindle blanks. Down here I've got some large batter blanks, some big leaf maple pearl pieces, and a very large sugar pine batter blank. It's about 17 inches wide, 2 inches, 3 inches thick. And we're going to swing around right here. I've got to move this chair out of the way. I was relaxing a little bit earlier. And we're going to swing around to the back side of the lathe here. And right here, I've got a nice slab of curly maple from Oregon. It's been in my shop for 15 years. And I've only used it a couple of times. Cut off a couple of pieces to make some bowls. And I can't decide whether to continue to do that or make it a natural edge table. Well, it'll just go back in the corn probably for another 15 years. And above that, you can see a pile of wood turnings that I've shown in the past, but there they are on my workbench. And now here's another smaller slab of curly maple. And as we come around this way, there's a large burl, big leaf maple burl from Oregon. It's been in my shop since 2004. And let's see here. Piece of mesquite from Texas. No, not really. It's down by Kern County up there in the hills. That's where that piece came from. And let's see here. Another treasure trove. Oh, yeah. Look at that beautiful wood in there. Let's see how thick this piece is. Some of these pieces I will cut up. I will resaw my bandsaw and use them to make jewelry boxes. With some very nice dovetail corners on them. And in this little tub here, one of many, but it's the only one in the shop right now. These are blanks for making ornaments. Yeah, it's October. It's that time of the month and the time of the year where I gotta start making those ornaments. There's probably about 25, 30 blanks in there. And I probably got like 10 more buckets like this. And I'll be probably finishing up towards the end of the month, turning this part, and then I'll start doing the finials to go on the box. Fun, fun, fun. And now, exciting, the back side of my lathe. Yay! And here's one look at one of my tool racks. Oh, I like trains. I do. I've got little bits and pieces of train stuff around, and a lot of other knickknacks I'll show you in a minute. But here's some of my tools here, and the 3 easy wood tools I recently won on a contest. Carl Jacobson was doing online. Lucky me, $300 worth of tools for free. What do you know? And now there's the back side of my grinder. Let's work our way down. Oh, here's another rack of tools here. I'll pull that out as I come around. And here's my mobile cart I use. I will load this up with my sandpaper, finishes, and whatnot. I can move it out of the way while I turn it, and then when I need that kind of stuff, I'll load up what I need, take it by the lathe. Down below, I've got my vacuum chuck pump, and that red bag down there has got my buffing wheels in it. All right, let's see here. Another view of the wonderful grinder. Yes, I don't have CBN wheels, not yet. But they're on the list. We'll get there. And oh, there's my yard work hat. Taking the snooze on top of my rack here. And this is another view. This is the front view of my tool rack here. And let's bring this around here. Measuring tools, all that fun stuff. Here's some more tools on the other side. Yes, it's on wheels, so I can roll this baby around. And now, there's the front of the lathe. It's a Laguna 1847. And I have an extension that can go on the end so I can turn up to 28 inches in diameter. As it sits, it's 18 inches. And yeah, I can turn 47 inches between centers. It's a long lathe, which is a little bit shorter, but it has come in handy from time to time, having that extra length for making furniture pieces. All right, so here's my toolbox for my lathe. It has all the fun goodies in it. All right, so here's some thread chasing tools, a few measuring tools and pencils. Yeah, let's see what we got in here. More measuring tools. Yeah, my drawers are a little bit neat, but hey, at least I know where everything's at, right? And now here's the fun drawer. There's some mini tools and several texturing tools. And I've got those Wagner tools there. I've got a small texturing and spiraling tool, an elf tool, and some wire brushes and so on and so forth. What we got in here, there's a little extra room in this drawer. I needed a deep one though to put my wood burner in. And I do enjoy doing the wood burning still, and I also make my own wood burning tips. And I'll show you how I do that in a minute, what tools I use for that. Oh, and here's the heavy drawer. Yep, there's my chuck drawers. Gotta have those chucks put somewhere. And I think this is my, what do we got in this box here? Oh yeah. Another chucking weight set there. And a blow dryer for drying various finishes, mostly milk paint that I like to put on some of my wood turnings, especially ornaments. And right down in here, what do we got? Some finishes. And, oh, yep, canisters of fire. Got propane canisters. I like to burn stuff too. And let's see, let's close this up here. Oh, got stuck in there. All right, odds and ends, drill bits. Let's see, marking pens for doing texturing on spinning tops. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Bob the Big Boy and the milkshake on my big new cabinet. This is a recent addition to my shop. Put some more goodies in. More ornament things here to decorate them with. And right down here, I've got some wood dyes, some finishes, some sanding material, some pen making material. And let's go down here and we will have a look at this. Oh, what do we got here? Hampshire sheen products. Look at that. Different colored waxes, high gloss, and original luster. How do you like that, Martin? All the way in California. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? All right.
Love their intrinsic colors.
Here and have a look at my new computer. Well, I got it back in Got July. some. They're just in the back of the cabinet. Sort of is new. And right here, this is my grandson's new 3D printer. He enjoys making all kinds of weird stuff on it. Took a little while to get it going right, but it works now, so that's good. And here we go. This is my workbench. Right here. And let's see what's on the computer screen. Oh, hey, look at that. Look, 360 Facebook page. Oh, yeah. I made this video for that club, so that's why I kind of highlighted them a little bit. Bar stools, nice, comfy wooden pillow. Ha, wooden pillow. That's fine. And all right, let's swing around. Oh, there it is. My Hagner scroll saw. I use this to make ornaments also. And do fretwork ornaments with this. And here is my Dremel setup. Yes, I use this for engraving, texturing, and making the wood turning tips. Writing them nice and sharp, and it's a lot cheaper than buying them. And we've got a stack of new Halloween candy. Got to keep me energized in the shop. And the new A8 art, the wood turners catalog for Justify just came the other day. Haven't had a chance to look at that. Oh, can't go without the monkey butt. Gotta have the anti-monkey butt lotion. Keep your hands nice and soft. And let's see here. Oh, let's take a look at some of the doodads I've got over here. Here's a little bit of a Hot Wheels collection. Ooh, Mr. Monster, he never stays standing up. And here is Woody, lost his arms, gotta make some new ones. And I've got some Hot Wheels and some old insulators off some telephone poles. Yep. All kinds of weird stuff in here. And up here, ooh, look what he got. Yeah, we've got the Hulk, we've got Shrek, and we've got the polar bear looking over the workshop. And he wants to make sure everybody stays safe.
Got any pezzes in them?
I collect Pez dispensers. I got like 1,000 of those things here. There is the wall of tools. And here's some ribbons I've won in the past at the local county craft fairs and county fairs. Pretty fun stuff. And like I said with the trains, here's my train clock.
Did we lose his video?
Yeah, it's about over. It's only 25 till 11 at night.
We don't.
Yeah, I know, it's late. So we're not going to get to hear it tonight.
I can still see the video.
Yeah, I can see it.
First aid kit in your shop. Very smart to do. My aprons and my rulers. Fire extinguishers over here. And I have one over there on that wall. Because you can't be too careful and safe. And I've got my overhead lights over my legs.
Oh, that's handy.
Nice and bright. So, I hope you enjoyed the tour. We're going to get on out back out the door. And we're going to get on with the rest of the meeting.
That's an awful plain workshop.
Good night.
How do you keep all the sawdust off all the little knickknacks?
Oh, hold on one second. Let me stop this thing here. There we go. All right, we can stop sharing. How do we stop this thing?
All right, I think we did it for you.
All right. I heard a couple questions in there, but didn't quite hear them on my end. Somebody asked how I keep those lights on over how I keep them above my lathe.
No. How do you keep the sawdust off all your knickknacks?
It's not easy. I turn my compressor air way down and I just give them a blast of air every now and again, a couple times a month. Keeps them pretty cleaned up.
Any other questions for Scott here, folks?
Nice
Well, Scott,
setup.
Go ahead.
I just said there was a nice setup.
Oh, thank you. I spent a lot of time out here, so I wanted to make it as fun as I could in here. That's the reason for all the knickknacks and things like that out here too.
Thanks, Scott. Enjoyed that.
You're quite welcome.
All right, so folks, that's part of our tips and tricks, or can be, pardon me, can be shop tours, ideas. I mean, First Sergeant Doug Rowe, who's, I believe he came in the house a little while ago. Yeah, he's in there. Where you at, Doug? Talk.
I'm here. La 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 la.
All right.
Now,
Doug Rowe's with us. Doug, you asked when we started talking about this tips and tricks thing, and folks, when we started talking about this, I get a hold of about 20 people who send me their email addresses, and everybody gets the same email. There's no, everybody, whatever. He said, you know, I'd like to see, how do they store tools and equipment? How do they organize their shop? Just like Scott was showing us just now, what they do and how they work it out. And I've been in probably 50 shops in my career, and they're all, every one of them, you got to stop and say, wow, why did I do that? So if you've got, pardon me, if you got something like that you'd like to share with us, it can be part of tips and tricks. Go right to it.
And so,
Bob,
folks,
I
keep
got
in
a
mind.
note that says Gary sent you some ink pens.
So real quick, Gary. So on the shop tour we just saw, folks, keep in mind that this was a previously made video for a different function. It was merely being shown just as a shop tour on how Scott has his shop set up. It absolutely was not any type of an advertisement. So please don't think it was somebody getting preferential treatment or anything like that.
No, it was I made the video for Wood Turning 360 over in the UK. Martin Clarkson, I think he's familiar with them. Also,
Yeah.
or a lot of
No, I just
people in the
wanted to
UK.
make sure everybody understood that, because sometimes it comes across the wrong way with
Oh no,
certain
no,
things. So
no advertising. I wasn't
no, and actually,
compensated
you know,
for
we'd
anything.
already talked about it, so it was already cleared. So I mean, it's not an issue. I just wanted to re-preface that to the group. So
Okay.
so folks, if you got something already previously made and you made it up for another event, there's absolutely nothing wrong with showing it. You know, as a function of what, you know, we're doing within the group. So, you know, don't feel shy about that. And, you know, much appreciative that Scott was able to do this.
Oh yeah, we all come together when this happens. That's, you know, I mean, Doug Rowe asked me about hanging up stuff. Doug Rowe bought a rack of tools in the shop that cost more than my shop cost. Get this.
It was buyer's remorse. Absolutely.
So we do know you don't ask your wife's permission before you buy that stuff.
So here's the other thing with those little tips and tricks. It can even be like one little thing in your shop. When we first started, and I can show it again if anybody's interested, but what I had wanted, my previous shop before this one was carpet. And I was having a hard time dragging the shop back in and whatever. So what I did was I spun me an adapter for my dust collector, and therefore I could put my 2-inch hose off my shop back right in there, and I could vacuum my whole shop. And a lot of people thought that was kind of cool. And it's those little things that I've picked up from other wood turners over the year. And of course, if I can share any of mine, I will. But I'm looking for more ideas that you all have. And that's kind of another direction I was hoping this would go.
Well, you're right. I mean, I won't do it the way you do it, but I'm going to watch what you do and steal the idea or an idea for it. And folks, that's what we talk about sharing. It's right here, sharing. Everybody should share. You've got something. I know you've got something, and you know you've got it, and you can share it. There's no secrets. There's no, can I get paid for it? We'll pay you twice what we used to pay, etc. But we want you to share. Great idea. I saw something bouncing around in the chat a minute ago about the worldwidewoodturners.com. That never came true. We had someone say, I'll develop your website. And we said, all right. And they got the worldwidewoodturners.com and all that. It didn't move. It didn't move. And Dave Rhodes from Crescent City in California, he said, hey, I can build you a website. I'll be glad to take on the challenge. I'm sorry, there wasn't a challenge. There wasn't a challenge. We're worldwidewoodturners.org, and if there's a better wood turning website in the world, I haven't found it yet. We have everything there for the wood turner except commercials. That's right. No endorsements, no bleep of this and bleep of that and all that. And trust me, if you look for something on our website, a bot will not contact you to ask you if you'd like to buy one. That's not going to happen. So David does an awesome job. Y'all want to be congratulating people. You should be patting David on the back for what is an awesome website. I mean, it's beyond call. It really is. And get this, folks, he does it as a volunteer. That's right. So if you have something to go on our website that you want David to share, somebody said earlier, can I send this to? Send it to David. Right there on our website. Contact, put it in there. And if you need him to call you to explain it more or to get more photographs or a sketch or whatever, all you have to do is tell him right then and there. There's no formality. It's you ask, we try to supply. A lot of comments on your shop, Scott. I can say that, shop, Scott. And a lot of folks interested in what happened. And I was wondering what the dust collection for the rabbits would be. I mean, for the dolls would be, because I see Doug Rowe does not have any dust protection in his shop whatsoever, because the curlicues hanging in that little bit of hair you got up there kind of gave you away, Doug.
I'm very vocal tonight. It's not very often that I'm very vocal, but
Go for it.
I watched a demonstration on here some time ago, and you talk about the hints and tips, sharing the hints and tips. This was not a hint or a tip. It was just part of a demonstration, and I can't remember who was doing the demonstration, but I noticed something, and I thought to myself, what a good idea that is. So I straight away set to with mine, and I'll show you what I did, because it seems really silly, but just on my lathe here, just move my camera around so that you can see it. At the back of my lathe, like most of you, you've got this handle that you reach over.
Pay attention, Brenda.
Can you see? So you've got that daft handle that sort of sits at the other side. Well, let me just turn the camera around again. It sits at the other side of the lathe, and it locks it into place. There. But I have to reach over for it, and you've really got to sometimes give it a pull to lock it into place. So what I did is I just turned a piece of timber, like a handle, drilled a hole in, and I actually poured expanding wood glue into there. And the reason I poured expanding wood glue into there is so that it didn't stick to the metal. And I now just slide that handle on there when I'm using my lathe. And it takes the coldness away from the metal, and it just gives you that extra tap. And it makes such a difference to it.
Leverage.
I just thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah, it's a good tip.
I love it.
Good tip, Martin.
It's just an extended handle so that I
You
don't
gonna
have to.
reprofile that?
No, I'm not going to reprofile it. Everybody does comment on it because my camera sits in front of it. Oh.
Martin, that's especially useful on the mini lathes that have such a short little handle anyway.
Exactly.
Normally the handle is not in front of it. I get regularly commented when I'm standing here at coffee morning holding the handle. And that's what Dane is referring to, but that's just filthy minds, isn't it?
It's different meaning, different group of people.
Yeah, definitely different.
Martin, I was one of those that make fun of you for having that there.
We put golf balls on the end of ours, and that extra little handle does make a big difference.
Sure
I've done that about maybe 4 months, and I kept saying to myself, I should have done that years ago.
Yeah.
I use it. I have that on my little one-way lathe. I have a little aluminum extension on those.
It might have been your demo that I spotted it. It was somebody just on. I pay attention, you see, and it was somebody who was doing a demonstration, and I just clocked that he put some type of handle on the back of the lathe, and I thought, what a clever idea that is. I'm going to do that.
You know what? Also, adding a piece of aluminum with the hole drilled in it to your chuck key is very helpful.
Yeah.
You get you get the extra torque without having to really bear down on it, and it really makes it a whole lot easier to tighten that chuck up.
Yeah.
Good tip,
Or
Mark.
break it free.
Take over here, and Brenda, your mic is working, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right.
That's
Rock
the
and roll.
bad news.
Just let me say real quick about the tips. Doug Rowe one time mentioned putting a box of Kleenexes in a tin can. That is my #1 favorite tip in the garage. Because in my garage, everything is covered with sawdust. But you put your Kleenexes in there, you get a clean Kleenex. I love that idea. So anyway, last week I showed you my can koozie, and this week I finished it.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.
Wow. That don't
That's
even look like
nice.
the same piece.
Well,
Oh,
That's beautiful,
neat.
Brenda.
Nice
Very
job, Brenda.
nice.
and I'll tell you what I did too, though. At first, I finished it with
That's cool.
oh crap.
I bet that's how it smelled.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
not a
that's
real
not a
good
very good
finish.
finish.
Tongue oil.
No, the outside spar varnish.
Yep.
I put spar varnish on it. Okay, it was beautiful, but it just wasn't real smooth. So I took it to the lathe and buffed it. Okay, buffed all the spar varnish right off of it. Came right off.
Huh.
So I put it back on the lathe, sanded it down, and finished it then with Carfex 3408.
There you go.
And it is nice and smooth, beautiful shine.
It
I'm
is
happy
pretty.
with it.
Looks good and protected from the elements.
Yes,
Very nice.
my nephew will love it.
Yes, you will.
What's
Yep.
inside of it?
It's got it. It was a kit, a can koozie kit. It's got a felt liner in it.
Very nice, Brenda.
Very
Thank
pretty.
you.
Beautiful.
I think I'm gonna
What's the-
try to make
what's the
one
wood?
now without the kit.
What was the wood?
The wood I thought was cedar, but I
Yeah,
think maybe it,
there's no cracks on it, so I don't think it's cedar.
yeah, and it's too dark too. I think maybe black
Walnut.
cherry or walnut.
Yeah, either way, it's really nice. You did a good job on
Yeah.
that, girl.
Very
Thank
Yeah,
nice.
beautiful, Brenda. Beautiful.
Very, very
you.
pretty.
Thank you. That's all I got tonight.
All
Thank
right.
you, Brenda.
All right,
You're
let's go to Terry. Terry, what's shaking, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I think I'm unmuted.
Yeah, I
You
hear
got
you.
me?
Yeah,
Well, I keep
Yeah.
my hand out from front of the camera.
that's what I was getting ready to
Yeah.
say.
I just want to go ahead and add a little bit to Martin and everything with those locking mechanisms and stuff on the lathe. I'll get back in a minute and tell you how I learned this. But you have the spring-loaded lock on a spline that locks your tool rest down. It locks the tool post down, excuse me, so that you can move that handle out of the way if you're trying to get in close somewhere and everything. And it has a little spring-loaded operation. You pull it out to change the spline direction.
Your video's
Whenever
frozen,
you
Terry.
use that, make real sure that you've got it completely back resplined, that it didn't get hung up or something on the edge and didn't catch all of that. And in just a minute, I'll show you why I know that. And it definitely ruined my day. I'm going to flip the camera around. I went to secondhand shops where I've been looking for lamp parts, and I found this one, and it was so nice. I just put a shade on it. I don't know if you can see it. I just put a shade on it, and one that I had made before. That's a North Fork Island pine shade.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
turned down about 2 mil, but I really like the stand, so I left it for now. I'm still having a lot of trouble finding parts. I have several more shades that I haven't built lamps for yet.
I love your
But-
shade.
And yeah, to get into a little more on it, I'm going to move around a little bit, trying to keep my hand off of there and turn off the lights. When I was looking for parts, I found a floor lamp in the trash at my local thrift shop, and I set it in the shop and couldn't really use any parts off of it, and left it there a while. And I got looking at it, and we found some ash that was given to us, wood the shop club did. And last week I was doing a learning term at our club, and I was showing a young guy what not to do, and got a pretty good catch. And I was cleaning the catch up on the bowl right at the end, and I got it down to, it was over a quarter of an inch, probably like 3/8 thick, and I could actually see light through it. So that got me to thinking, which is never a good thing, but it happened. And so I went back to the house and I saw this lamp sitting there and decided maybe that ash was a good idea for it. That's what I came up with on it. The shade is about 17 and a half inches, and it's 7 inches deep. And it's turned to about 1.5 mil. It's pretty thin. I got a pretty good shape, and I really took my time with it. And I have that piece of wood weighed probably over 50 pounds when I started. And I put it on the scales this morning and it was right at 1 pound. So that's how much I took off of it. But it come out, it's kind of had a lot of knots and stuff in it. And it came out really, really with a lot of character to it.
Looks like a
But
sunrise.
what I was telling you before about the tool rest lock, I was all done with it and I was cleaning the very bottom of it out. And I wanted to get the tool rest a little closer. So I put it in and that handle was in the way. So I pulled it out and turned the handle out of the way, got it so I could do it, and went back to set it up. And I went to lock the tool rest down and that spline slipped. It wasn't engaged and my hand hit the shade. And that happened when it was done. So my hand punching it, it's like I say, it's like 1 mil. And I hit it with my hand and broke it. It glued back together pretty good and it ain't ruined, but it was on track to be the nicest one out of all the 15 shades that I made. And it definitely ruined my day. So you can take a little heart into making sure that thing's splined in there properly when you do it. This is what was on that lamp. These were the little cups on the bottom, made out of a piece of plastic and cardboard. And it didn't have a top one. On that top one, it was originally on the lamp the way it came, it was upside down. It was like a regular floor lamp with it turned up like a bowl. And I cut a hole in it and put it together that way and with it upside down and everything. And I turned it on and the bottom lights just completely washed out the top and you couldn't see it at all. So I said, well, that ain't gonna work. So I went and put a plug in the hole and redesigned all the banjo and all the fittings and rewired the whole thing. And I'm really pretty pleased with it. I thought it looked pretty nice. But I guess I'll have to make another one. Still looking for that perfect piece. Probably be looking for it for a long time.
Yeah, it is a beautiful piece of work. Very beautiful.
That's about all I got. I sure wish it wouldn't have busted. It definitely ruined my day. But
That's a bummer.
I got more wood. I might give it another shot.
Still looks great.
Yeah, very
Nicely
nice.
done, Terry. Looks really good.
And that's pretty much what I got. I can't
All
think
right,
of anything
thank
else.
you.
I promised I wasn't going to show you any more lamps, but I had to show you that one.
No, no worries. That's awesome. Never feel like that. All right, well, let's go to everybody's favorite birdhouse, Bob.
Hello,
Hey, how's
Bob.
everybody doing
There he
tonight?
is. Look at the head on
How
that
y'all
guy.
doing tonight?
Doing
Well, I know
good.
this will be surprised, but I made a couple birdhouses. I made some out of spectre ply,
Oh,
and
nice.
this time I made the top
That's
and the
awesome.
perch and the finial out of spectre ply.
Wow.
That turned out sort of neat.
That looks
Bob, that
good.
is so excellent.
Yes.
That's cool, man.
Nice, Bob.
And then I did this one.
Wow.
You can get some interesting patterns with that.
Sure does.
Man.
That is cool.
What's the body made out of? What's the body, Bob?
It's maple.
Maple? Okay. Yeah, that works. That's awesome. That's pretty.
And then the
Yes.
top is maple.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
look
what
like pretty birdhouses.
That's cool, man. I like it.
one of these goes to my daughter-in-law for her birthday present.
That's cool.
I
Very
like
nice.
it.
Are you gonna oil them or shine them up? Because that'll really make the SpectraPly pop too. They pop already as they are, but they're very nice.
Well, I hadn't put any finish on these yet. I'll put spray gloss lacquer on them.
Oh
And
yeah.
the finish color will let pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Those are cool. Very cool. I
Yeah,
like
we'll
how
have-
you elongated the top and turned it to make it like a live edge bowl on the top. That's cool.
We'll have to get you to do another demo on them, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you did
Takes
one
a little
already,
while to
but,
do
you
one,
know,
but
there's- yeah, that's a really cool design.
Yeah, they're fun.
yeah, I could do a
All
demo
right.
on that sometime.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out here this summer.
Okay.
That's great. All right, well, let's
Depends
go
what
to
flock comes in.
right. So let's go. Let's go north of the border here. Let's see what's happening up in Ontario.
Oh, hi everyone. Hope
Hey
all
there.
is well. I was just cleaning out my big Forstner bit because I'm doing a bit of a production run on those pop can beer can covers I showed a few weeks ago or maybe a month ago. But it's been a busy week. On the weekend, I did a production run of 200 custom furniture plugs and furniture drawer pulls for 400 pieces altogether. I don't have any to show you because I delivered them Monday, but I do have a wig stand I can show you and a couple boxes and the start of the pop can holder. So the wig stand, this is a wig stand I made probably 6 or 8 years ago. And with it, I did a lot of pyrography on it. So on the top, I followed the grain pattern, and this is stipple. So it's a whole bunch of dots to create the texture and the pattern, but then it really shimmers when it hits the light. So there is over 2,500 dots on this piece, on the top and the bottom. The top, I followed the grain to create sort of like a zebra pattern. In the middle, I did almost like a leopard pattern. I framed the center and I did a multi-axis turned just to accent the overall piece in the center to make the symmetry asymmetrical in the middle to just accent one another. And then at the bottom, it was pretty straight grain. So I burned it to follow the grain line, which created almost a tiger stripe.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Now, this wig stand I wasn't donating. I actually made it for someone and I'm keeping it if my mom ever has to go through treatment again. And so it's waiting if she needs to ever go through that again. But it was fun to play with texture and off-center turning. Now, on Friday, my VP, my vice president of my club called and said, we don't have a demonstration this week. On Monday, I said, okay, well, who do we have in the mix coming up? Because I might know a couple people who might do a demonstration. And he said, well, maybe you could do something off center, like the wig stand I did years ago, because last month we did a wig stand challenge for the club. I donated a little box to be raffled off to the membership of people who make wig stands. So for every wig stand you made, your name went into the pot once. Another member does really nice pens, so he donated a gold and chrome fountain pen with maple burl. So those were 2 prizes. We had a wig stand month last month, and our members made 50 wig stands because we wanted to get over that 500 mark. So year to date, my club has made 508 wig stands that we have donated to 2 different cancer support foundations or support centers here in Ontario. So I said, sure, I could do a basic demonstration on multi-axis turning. So one person who's really good at multi-axis turning in the USA is Barbara Dill. And when she came up to the States, I took a class with her. Now, another person who is really good at multi-axis turning is Jean-Francois Escalon, and he's from France. He is by far the king of multi-axis turning. So look him up. You'll really be blown away. When I was in England in 2018, I took a bus over to France and I took a class at the Escalon School of Wood Turning with Jean-Francois, and we did quite a bit of off-center turning. So it's fun. It's an adrenaline rush because you have that wood whipping around on you, but you have to make sure you do bevel rubbing, slicing cuts, because if you're scraping and you have all that drag, that spindle is coming off the lathe. Even if you put one side in a chuck, you might feel more secure with that one end in the chuck, but really with that off-center whipping, if you get a catch, it's still coming out of that chuck. So if you feel more secure with the chuck, do it with the chuck. I tend to do it between centers because I can turn and move both axes however I see fit to do multiple multi-axis within the same piece. So the multi-axis demonstration I did was this one, which is fairly simple, I guess. It's V beads or V grooves, V cuts. And what you really do is you take one end and you turn it off center. Now you can take one end, turn it off center for half the piece. Take this end, turn it off center if you want this to be more eccentric than this. You can also take 2 points and mount it off center here and off here to create other shapes. Like that's how they do axe handles, oval axe handles, or ribbons, stuff like that. So this was a practice piece I did on the weekend after I did the production run of all that furniture stuff. But with this, what you can do is you don't want to tighten it too much because depending how thin you go, it's going to flex on you, right? But you can actually use that to your advantage, and it actually makes your tool a cutting tool, but a chatter tool at the same time. So on this piece, I got some texture on the piece here, and it actually is on every single piece, actually there it is, which gives it that shell effect, that shell textured effect on the turning. So it's not necessarily a problem or an issue unless you make it one. It's actually a design opportunity or a different way to texture and embellish your work at the same time as doing the multi-axis off-center turning. Now, that did not have any sanding on it. And then this was the warm-up piece I did 10 minutes before I logged on to the meeting. And this was the headstock center stayed stationary. The live edge center turned on 4 different axes plus the center axes, which made this a cylinder in the beginning. Now, by doing that, you can have these go in opposite directions, or you can have them twist around the turning as you move that multi-axis point. So it's pretty interesting and fun to do. A lot of it's trial and error. And let's mount it this way and see what we get. So try it, have fun with it.
Hey,
The
Kate,
one
what did you turn that with? The skew, or were you using a spindle rough and gouge?
This one I turned with the skew. Now you can do it with the skew, but keep in mind you have to maintain bevel rubbing contact because you have wood air, wood air, wood air, like live edge turning or multi-axis turning. So you have to make sure if you're using that skew, you have to like you have to stay within that bottom half. It's even more of an insurance premium if you stay within that bottom third. So what I mean by the bottom third is if I have the tool on the tool rest this way, I stay in the bottom third of that bevel. I don't want to creep up to that center point, especially with multi-axis turning and a lot of wood air, because if I come up past that center point, that bevel is going to catch those corners, skate across your piece, make a mess of those corners, but it's going off center, and that is going to launch through the air and hit you like a cricket bat. So wear your face shield as well. But you can also use a.
So you're using the toe of the skew, right? The top point, not
the toe.
Not the heel. Yeah, not
yes.
the heel.
Now I'm using the toe because when I am cutting, I can see what the tool is doing over the heel. If I wanted, I wouldn't recommend doing it, but it's possible. You can use the heel, but it's a lot trickier to see what that tool is doing. So some people will look over, wiggle the tool to see if they're on the bevel, and then skate away, made a mess of your piece.
Yeah,
so
no, I do my finials with the toe or with the heel. I'm sorry, correction, the toe when I make my finials on using the skew just because I have better control. So, hey, thank you for answering my question.
Yep, no problem. So yeah, you can use either or, but for certain applications, when I can see what I'm doing, I use the toe because you can see over the heel. Now you can also use your spindle gouge. I use a different type of grind on my spindle gouge. I have two. Have a Michael Hoslick one, and I have a one that I sort of sharpened and used with Jean-Francois in France. So my spindle gouge, this one has a much deeper flute, but it's sharpened to quite a point. This usually has a double bevel, but last time I sharpened it, I didn't create the double bevel. But this allows me to really ride that bevel and get into those sharp corners and connections. But so
that's not an elliptical grind, that's an even grind.
Yep.
There's no sweeps.
No, it's not swept back. It's not ground with a jig. It's ground freehand.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, now you're showing off.
The same with the Michael Hoslock one. Now, the Michael Hoslock one has a much shallower flute, okay? But he has a much further back grind, and this has the double bevel. This is also sharpened freehand without a jig.
That's a detail gouge, isn't it?
Spindle gouge, detail gouge, same thing.
Well, the detail gouge has a very shallow flute in it, a lot of meat underneath it.
Yeah, it's essentially a spindle gouge. Cade's right. A detail gouge is essentially a spindle gouge with the grind done differently.
Yeah, same thing, different grind, or preference from turner to turner as well.
All right, give us 15 minutes. We'll come up with a brand new title for it. That's what wood-turns can do.
But that's the tool I use if I were to use a spindle gouge. So on this one, I used a skew. Absolutely no sanding, straight off the tool. Okay. The one I turned in the demonstration was this piece. And this one was turned with my smaller spindle gouge, this one here. And again, bevel rubbing cuts, slicing cuts, and no sanding. So you can sand multi-axis turning, but you have to sand it before you go to the next axis, axes, and then sand it, and then move it, cut it, then sand it. Otherwise, you're going to round everything and mold all your details together. They won't be as crisp. Or if you do very nice bevel rubbing slicing cuts, you have virtually no sanding at all. So that's what I did in the demo. It was fun. So I look forward to seeing people now sort of bedazzle their wig stands with multi-axis turning. Now, one I did for fun, when I did the other practice piece, was I made myself a mustache.
Needs to be darker.
Ho, ho, ho. So, and that was turned on 3 axis. And this I turned with the roughing gouge.
Oh, there you go.
Now you can turn it with the skew or the spindle gouge, but I would probably refer back to a spindle gouge, just because it was so flat and gradual curves. I was able to do it with the roughing gouge.
That's a
So,
good
I
way to
mean,
make handles too.
You guys remember the demo I did a couple weeks back where I did the off center on the goblet stem?
Yeah.
Very similar to what Cade did right there. And I used my deep fluted bowl gouge. And the important part is to, you're turning using slicing, shearing cuts, and you're taking light cuts when you do it. Because if you
All
try
the
to take,
time.
if you try to take deep,
and light cuts all the
Yep.
time.
my Michael Hoslock spindle gouge I bought years ago, but now my tool handle is probably worth more than the actual tool and tool steel, because this is Coco Bolo.
Yeah,
holy smokes!
This tool handle is Coco Bolo.
What'd you finish the Cocobolo with?
My usual tongue oil.
Right.
Ah, okay.
There's nothing else in that shop but tongue oil, guys. Tongue oil and denatured alcohol.
Yep. So I love this handle. But I mean, I got Michael Hoslock's barrel here, and it's interchangeable. So I mean, this handle will never be garbage. Once this tool is done, all I need to do is undo those set screws, pop this out, and pop in a new one.
Yep.
But yeah, you can make some really fancy, nice handles that, yeah, look really nice. It's good skew practice too for your beads.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Show
And
off.
I didn't show these yet either. I don't think. I got carried away talking about multi-access and wig stands. But this is a box I did a few months ago, and this is actually choke cherry. The finial is aluminum. There's the inside.
That's very pretty, very pretty.
Hey, Cade, you were talking earlier about your the chattering you got on the off center piece.
Yes.
How did you do that again?
The
Sorry.
chatter.
Yeah.
Since I went so thin here, I tightened my tailstock, and it gave this a little bit of flex. Not much. You don't want too much because it'll come around, slam around, hit, and it could break or come off. But slight little bit of flex, and then the tool actually acts as a chatter tool as well as a cutting tool, giving me the shell texture within the piece.
Right. And what tool was that you were doing that with?
That was with this
Gotcha.
spindle gouge I showed.
Thanks. Sorry, I didn't
the
mean to.
first
I
one
didn't mean to
showed.
pull you away from the box there. I'm sorry. The box is very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. That was one I did probably a year or so ago. But this one I did the other day. And this is a poplar with dyed black. Now, I showed one last week, and the finial was aluminum. This time it's brass to give you the color contrast. But the inside has a aluminum one. So I have the two-tone with the black box. It has no finish on it yet, but the one I showed last week was fully finished, and we could see the reflection in the screen. Brain fart, lost my train of thought. But yeah, That's turning aluminum and brass finials with an Asian-inspired box. And I was just preparing for a demonstration I'm doing later in the week.
Well, thank you, sir.
Right
Beautiful
on,
work.
Kate.
Really appreciate you sharing. I know you're talking to Dane in a little bit, and you'll find out what we've been talking about that time. Can you guess?
About what time?
We
Inquiring minds
did a little
will
planning
find
behind
out.
your back. It's okay.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Right on. All right,
And-
well,
and
that's kind of
couple
hard. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Eddie.
Dane.
No, you go ahead.
There was a couple of mentions in our chat about chatter. I discovered a long time ago that if that tool vibrates in that handle because of the fine fit that some manufacturers put on them when they heat them up, push them in, and you got a weather change. If it moves in that handle, it chatters in that handle. So whatever you're turning will probably have a wonderful looking detail on it. Can't do it twice, but a wonderful looking detail if you're interested in it. And chatter tools, we've seen probably 10 or 12 different versions of chatter tools and embossing tools, spiraling tools, and all that. And it's all up to your imagination. Just remember that most of them will create the chatter by an irregular impact. That's saying that the grain, the density of the grain, et cetera, how much the tool is supported off the tool rest. And when I first saw a chatter tool being used with the point on it, the point was, it was a shop-made tool using a piece of hacksaw. And the guy went right across it. It was gorgeous, beautiful. When somebody said, "Can you do that again?" He honestly said, "No. I can do the chatter, but I won't do this again. It won't change." So you can play with it a little bit. If you come up with a way to chatter and you want to share it with us, we'd love to have it on Tips and Tricks. And remember, Tips and Tricks is more than just, oh, look, snap, it's like this. No, it is a way for you to share information you develop with other wood turners. I mentioned again that Martin Clarkson has got a program coming up on 4/24, Turning for Ukraine, 17-hour turning marathon. And we'll have more details about how you can join in, watch, participate. I mean, hey, it's a big project. He can help and use a lot of help on it. And also, we're still collecting Freedom Pens. I saw tonight that Mr. Selby was in with us. He handles our Navy. Doug Rowe handles our Army. Ronnie Bunnett handles the Marines. We have another gentleman who handles the Coast Guard, and another guy that handles Space Force. So we got them covered, folks. If you'd like to donate something to Freedom Pens, if you're wondering where, go to our website. The details are there. And if in doubt, you can send them to Sergeant Doug Rowe. He's Sergeant Doug Rowe for now. I think in something like 21 days. No, 17 days. He stops being Sergeant Doug Rowe. Comes back to civil life, or civilian life, pardon me, civil life. Not Doug, we're not expecting that.
I might be civil, or maybe I won't.
Never can tell, it'll happen. And early we had a discussion about a detail gouge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the deal. There is no book. There are no guidelines. There are no set formulas. There's nothing that'll say it's a quarter 1040 or a quarter 1024 or whatever. No, it doesn't go that way. There are no rules for this stuff. So if you make up something, you're going to probably make up a term for it. And I know somebody that sells tools, and they've ran into the same problem. People call and say, "I need a 4R3AA." What is that? Well, that's what they call it. Okay, get out your McCryman and let's talk, because all the manufacturers, all the distributors have leeway with those things, because if I call it a 4RR3A, the next guy can't sell something and call it a 4RR3A. It's a marketing deal. I used to work for a major appliance retailer, and I asked one time, how do you put those ads out? We say, we'll either match that price on that unit or give you 10% of that price. I asked the boss one time, how do you do that? And he said, no problem. I'll buy 1,000 refrigerators from GE. They're going to change the last letter of the item piece where I'm the only guy that's got that. And that happens with a lot of stuff. Really does. Cade put a little link in there about John Francois. I've been in a demo of John Francois, and it's not the lateral, pardon me, his lateral multi-axis work is gorgeous. His disc multi-axis work is gorgeous. And I learned a lot from him. And in fact, I'm not saying anything, Dan will sign me up. All right, we got about a minute before we pull the plug. We pull the plug every Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock Central Time. We have some guys to get together and chat until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Hey, that's great. We're sharing information. We look forward to it.
Well, we got a few more. We got about 3 more people for gallery.
Well, let's pop them in, bud. Go.
All right. Well, up next is that bald guy in Tucson. So.
Oh, and shoot a bald guy in Tucson. Oh, no,
that Dane?
Yes. So I've been really inspired by our demo that was done a couple weeks ago by Lan Brady with the scoops. Yeah. And it's a really cool project, and you can do multi-axis on it. So this was my first attempt. So this is a piece of cherry. I did some embellishment on the outside of it.
Is that wood burning or is that painting like coloring?
Oh yeah, no, it's just holding a piece of wood to it to burn it in there.
Okay.
Yep. Don't need to use wire or anything like that. Just take yourself. You got wood all around. You're a wood turner. And just hold it in there. You don't need wire cable or guitar screens or anything like that. So anyhow, this is my first attempt and already been using it. So this is my rice scooper now. I ate a lot of rice, so it's perfect. And then last night I made one out of mesquite, a little longer handle. My wife has decided that she wants the next version that I make like this to scoop out the sides and make it an ice cream scoop. But this is about a 2 tablespoon capacity. And then, so this is funny. I've never seen it before in Chilean mesquite, but
softwood
or not. But there's a reddish or orangey streak going through the grain here in the sapwood, and of course it transfers all the way, on the opposite side, on the inside here. Yeah, so I don't know if it's picking up or whatever, but it's an interesting feature. Never seen it before, but yeah. Anyhow, so I'm having fun with these scoops here. I got another piece on the lathe here where I'm going to make a cup. With a hitched down handle on it. But
like
yeah,
a cook cup?
like
a cook cup?
No, I don't. Yeah, no, not like that. No. But yeah, anyway, so I'm having fun with that, and I was really, again, I was really inspired by Lan Brady's video on that and demonstration, and so I'm just having fun with it, and they're fun to make. So give it a try if you guys feel like doing so.
Were you able to find the 1.5 inch standoffs, or did you have to go to that? What was it?
Well,
2.5
no.
inch?
So I've got supplies. I used to, after I got out of the military and went into finance, I worked for a defense company, and so we'd scrap out a lot of parts and whatnot. So we had a hose department that made life support hoses and whatnot for the fighter jets and air refuelers, and so I've got various life support hoses and bushings and whatnot, and so it's just literally it's an M6 screw for a Vic Marchuck or a Nova Chuck. I'm not sure. It's probably the same size for a one-way, but I don't know. I don't have a one-way check. but an M6 for a Nova or Vicmark. And so I had M6 screws already on hand, and I cut up some life support hoses, took the bushings off, and so that's what I'm using for the side supports.
Okay,
But you
thanks.
could you could get away with automotive hoses, you know, like I don't know, something small enough, you know, not a radiator hose, but that type of hose you'd be able to use.
Yeah, you could turn your own. You could turn them out
Well,
of
yeah,
wood
you-
and then
yeah,
and wrap them
absolutely.
with foam.
Yep.
Yeah, there was no boy on the internet that's exactly, he couldn't find the 1.5. So he turned his own and
Yeah.
then put a little bit of a one on the end where he could hold it.
But yeah, this is what they look like here on my Vicmark.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's cool.
Now, you turners know that that is a tip or a trick. That's what we're talking about.
So again, you know, so let me pull them out. And granted, you know, I've got stuff, you know, that, you know, scrap, you know, you get it, you know, quality control, and you know, stuff gets NCR'd and supposed to be destroyed and everything. But you know, being the big guy accountant, you know, you're able to take stuff. So literally, you know, I've got multiple quantities of these little bushings.
There you go. Those will work well.
So
You can
that's
get
what I'm using. You know, neoprene.
you can get automotive hoses too that are similar thickness and size.
Right.
That's what you meant. Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, work great.
I use a nylon bushing with a piece of milk hose over the top.
Yeah, you know, as long as you're able to have your screw standoffs like Lan was saying, and then be able to protect your wood surface as you're tightening in your chuck, you know, you're going to be fine. You know, so it's, you know, whether you make it out of wood, you make it all out of HDPE, or, you know, make it out of, you know, we're wood turners. We're able to do it. You know, we're homegrown engineers. You know, we solve problems to suit our purpose.
Good point.
But yeah, you know, so really liking it.
Cool.
Really cool.
Cool.
I've already got a couple orders already in for them, and you know, I told them, I'm like, hey, got to wait until I perfect the technique. But you know, if you watch the demo, great. Using the same technique Lan did, take a drill at the center just like you're doing a hollow form, so you get rid of that wood in the center that's not moving. That's the purpose of drilling it out. It's not necessarily for setting the depth, but getting rid of that center because it doesn't turn as fast, and it allows you to go in with your scraper and scoop everything out, you know, going from the outside, working in with that holding fashion. There's not an issue with it popping out. You try going from the inside out with a spindle gouge, let me just tell you, don't even do it, because it's going to pop out. I thought I would try it, and lo and behold, it came out. So
Thanks for the info.
use the scraper, use that technique from the wall to the center. And it cuts excellent. You know, it
Or
works
that
great.
ball end mill tool.
Well, I'm not a ball end mill guy, so can't attest to that. I can't attest to that.
Yet, Dane, yet.
No, I'm sorry. I won't convert.
That's okay, Dane. I won't be either.
You know, I've got my tools. I don't need to make a tool to do the same thing. I've got tools that already do it. You know, I mean, no offense, but
Shearing cuts right from the tool, dude.
that's
No
just my
sanding.
opinion. Well, I've got shearing cuts, you know, straight from the regular tools. So, but anyway.
Right from a
Okay, y'all have to go to different
so again,
corners
you know,
now.
These are fun. And then Brenda, do you see anything looking back at you?
Is Brenda still there? I don't see Brenda.
That's E.T. phone
looking
home.
back at us. Look at his eyes right there.
It's like
Yep.
E.T.
There.
Those are crazy looking eyes, aren't they?
They are.
Alien.
And he's looking at you too when you turn it upside down.
Oh,
It's Kato from
giving you
Green
the
Hornet.
side eye now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it was a crotch. Well, it was a limb that had two small suckers coming out. So, you know, this started off as a limb about 2.5 inches in diameter. So
Can you hear me now?
anyway, but again, these are fun.
Cool.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
on that note of the M6 hex screws, the one-way chucks take the same screws, and you can actually get them on Amazon. You can order 1 inch,
Yes, you
2
can.
inch, 1.5 inch. Get the screws, and then you can make whatever bushings you like out of whatever you like. So
And I just ordered more screws today. It was 13. It's 14 bucks after tax, and you get 20 mil, 25 mil, 30 mil, 35 mil, and 40 mil.
40.
So up to 2 inches long. You know, from
Yep.
1.5 to 2 inches long. So, you know,
What's the
giddy up, you know.
nomenclature? What's the nomenclature on the screws?
When I span off of here, I'll go back onto my account and get the link, and I'll post it in here before we close. Okay.
Okay,
M6 hex screws.
M6
James.
screw.
M6 hex. Hex.
Yeah,
HEX
Yeah.
screws.
My Ace Hardware at the corner carries them.
Oh, I got an ace. I can go try that. Okay.
I
All right.
need,
So I'm done. So let's go to Dean Grimes next. And I'm going to try and catch up here on chats. There's like 20 chats here that came in.
Good deal.
Go ahead, Dean.
I don't know if this will even show up. It may not be big enough.
we see it right now.
It's a
Okay,
whistle.
good deal. A little whistle keychain. And had somebody ask if you could put the whistle that I made and did a YouTube video on a keychain. I said, well, I guess you could, but it'd be awfully big. So I went ahead and did this, and it does whistle. So it will get your attention. I don't know, it may have shut off the sound for that, but
No, that was sweet, dude. Nice.
Yeah, I want to send my grandkids home with
made
one.
out of a Bacote pin blank.
Okay.
And just a safety heads up, guys, this was out of the second blank. Those pin blanks looked perfectly fine. I spun the first one up, hit it with the roughing gouge. It split in half, and half of that pin blank ended up hitting me square in the face shield. So you may think you're turning something small and it's not important to wear your face shield, but I would have been in trouble without it. So just a heads up, be safe.
All right. Thank you, Dean. Beautiful work. I need to make one of that for every one of my grandkids. I need to make one.
You're evil, Eddie.
Hey, I got a great grandson. Boy, he's only a year plus. He may have a ball with it.
Oh yeah, his parents will love you too.
And who's going to tell a 1-year-old they can't blow on the whistle?
Yeah, right.
Who's that up there?
All
Well,
right.
we got the soon to be retired first sergeant, Doug
Soon to be-
Rowe.
Getting real close. Okay, so back around Valentine's Day, I'd made up some blanks with the candy hearts. I started to turn a cup, and then the resin hadn't cured enough. So this is still the other blank that I haven't turned yet. So Pringles can, resin, candy hearts. So this, I finally went back and pulled it off the back of the workbench, and the resin was plenty hard enough to turn. Just like with wood, you always find the one side that's better. So there's the better side.
Yeah.
My wife gave me grief about the handle is too thick. She said it would have looked nicer if I went thinner, and I agree with her. What had happened when it was spinning, this was all perfectly true. Of course, like any goblet, right? Make the cup first, hollow it, put the tennis ball in there. Started turning down the shaft, and the resin got too hot. I look over, and this is, and I was like, wait a minute, that was just true. So anyway, best I could, and that's my my little heart cup.
That's
very cool.
Very nice. Make yourself a string steady, buddy.
That's
I-
awesome.
For having the meeting, I was turning the plate. So that's why when Eddie was saying he's got strings hanging from his head, that's what,
Oh,
Now,
that's
do
cool.
do they smell, Doug, when you're turning them?
Yeah,
Smell like
it
sugar?
smells very sugary in here when
Yeah.
I'm doing. Yep. And I
Now,
gotta make sure I clean up pretty
do
quick.
you ever get the urge to reach down and grab a handful and, test
I
them
keep
out?
Lick your tool?
Right? Lick your tool.
It definitely creates quite the mess that I've got to clean up tonight. Can't wait because I don't know how quickly the ants will show up if I don't clean it up.
Right.
But that's a lot
I
of
like
sugar
that.
all over the floor.
But if you don't, you'll find out real fast.
So, Doug, does that
Get
do they
cockroaches.
melt? Do they melt on the backside of your gouge?
They do not. I've never had any issues with the candy hearts dissolving in the resin or anything. When I've done it with candy canes, those get really gooey. They heat up
Yeah,
too
okay.
much cool
Huh.
and it becomes a gluey mess. I would put it right up there with turning pine, just a real sappy pine, and it just gets all over your tools. But with the Brock's candy hearts,
Sergeant.
What, do you do anything to protect the candy, keep it from disintegrating?
Night, Martin.
And yes, a lot of the candy hearts are exposed. So I use a CA glue finish first, and then over the CA glue, I use spray on lacquer. And I mean, I wouldn't encourage anybody to actually drink or eat out of them because I'm sure there's probably some point where one of the candy hearts is exposed and the liquid would get in there and probably start dissolving it, I would think. I've never really tested it. But yeah, that's that.
Oh, it's cool.
Thank you for the pens. I've heard from a few people that they've got some purple pens en route for me for my ceremony to give to the general and then pass on, like I said, to the Purple Resolve program that we're adapting. I think it's really awesome. And I just real quick want to say, because I know we have a lot of Vietnam era veterans in this group. One of the things that I had to talk about in my out process that they've come a long way with the military as far as trying to take care of our brains on the way out the door. And they asked me, they said, what are you going to do to keep in touch with other veterans or be able to talk to people that can relate to things that you've been through? I said, I belong to 2 wood turning groups that are full of veterans, and they're my heroes from the war before me that saw way more than I ever did. I'm going to be fine. And I got the check block and got to go to the next station. So you guys are helping me out with more than just wood turning. Appreciate all of you.
Quite welcome, sir. It's an honor.
That's cool. When you cast the candy in the epoxy, do you cast it in open air or under pressure? Do you get air bubbles because of the spongy sugar-like fibers?
It depends on the resin that I've used, and I've used a few different brands. If I use the Alumite, which is my preferred, has to be under pressure. Otherwise, I get way too many bubbles. These ones I did with Dr. Kraft resin and did not put them under pressure and had very little bubbles. The big difference, of course, Dr. Crafty takes like 3 days to fully where Alumilite a couple hours later, throw it up on the lathe and be good to go. So it really has more to do with the resin than the candy.
Okay, cool. That's a good tip. Thanks.
Okay, Dane, anybody else on the deck?
No, Doug was it.
Alrighty. With that, wood turners, we're about to call it a night, and I thank y'all for being here. It's been a little bit overtime tonight, which is, hey, and when you're sharing ideas, thoughts, ways, methods, it's all in. I'm okay with it. The details that Dane promised you about the screws through Amazon, through Amazon. Those details are now in our chat. If you wish, please save the chat. And speaking about those screws, I've somehow in the disaster, I lost the little Tupperware type box of screws, spare screws I had for my chucks. I ordered them today from Amazon. But I bet better than that. The potentiometer out in my one-way went out. And I mentioned it last week, I found one for $8 at Amazon. I was wrong. I got two for $8. Got it changed today, just to let you know. If you go shopping, it's amazing what you can find. All right, with that, folks, we had a rock and roll concert.
This is in honor.
Heck yeah.
In honor of Dane's T-shirt.
All right.
I went to this concert in March of 2020, right before they had to go off the road because of the pandemic. This was in Bakersfield. During their end of the road tour. I had seats. I took my 3 grandsons with me. We had seats right next to the right side of the stage. I mean, we caught their guitar tips and all kinds of stuff. So
nice.
Really fun.
Great.
Right on.
Cool.
Sorry, Eddie. I had to go tune into that. So.
No, I mean, hey, you got the shirt, don't you? That's it. Okay, folks, we're going to pull the plug and get out of here Wednesday night. If you haven't invited one of your friends, one of your turning friends, club member or whatever, to join us, please ask them to join us. We're here each Wednesday evening sharing wood turning and just about everything else. I'll see you next Wednesday night. Let's say goodnight, John Boy.
Night, y'all.
Night,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody.
Night,
Friend, bring a friend.
Night, everyone.
Good
Night,
night.
friend, bring a friend.
Night, Mary Ellen.
To the,
Take care, Captain.
Nice to see you back, Dean.